three amigos. Hotman, Crowder, and Solana on FM radio. Them boys be sliding, so we riding and we ready to go. 100,000 watts full throttle, baby, ready to blow. We passing coca out to Jupiter, we got your attention. You can tune in anywhere, but listen at your discretion. To the legend, Mr. Hotman, can't stop him, each other deuce. The guy is on hot burger at Tucker Deuce. Now my rush more of these sports. Spitting the truth. It's Channing Crowder, greatest Dolphins who rock the 52. Solana one best of Miami, the voice of FIU. We reppin' to Miami, the Heat and the Panthers too. We reppin' for the Marlins, the Dolphins, that's how we do. We reppin' for the Crips, so it's always about the you. Hey Jimmy, please get a Pell on the phone and tell him that it's on. I finally got his name on the song. Can't do it wrong, cause it sounds so sweet. You spit the facts while I keep the crowd on their feet. Football season be the reason that I be bringing this heat. Georgia music representing 104.3. Hey,
welcome to the show on a Thursday. It's almost the weekend. No Dolphins game this weekend. We got the Hurricanes in action. The Miami Heat are coming off a victory. I won't call it a big victory, but they're coming off a victory. But I see Channing Crowder, superstar Channing Crowder, connected. Crowder, you were on First Take this morning. I watched almost all of it, and I laugh because you're at an HBCU. You've said some things about HBCUs that certain HBCU students may not agree with, and you're introduced on First Take, and there was some boos, but I think by the end of it, you won the crowd over.
Yeah. I think the Lamar Jackson love kind of got him. But no, I still have to have those conversations. And I'm, once I sit down and talk to you like a human, yeah, but the clips got HBCUs upset. And no, it's this Daytona. I've never hung out in Daytona. Daytona is beautiful, man. This is a hell of a place to have a college. They're right on the damn water.
Yeah, they got a Buc-ee's.
That's not what I was talking about.
Did you go to Daytona, like the Speedway?
No, we're on campus, but I rode around last night. The Speedway's not there.
Crowder's doing the HBCU tour. He's like, Daytona's awesome, and we named the two widest possible things. You go to the Buc-ee's? What about the NASCAR track?
Yeah, it's got a relationship with NASCAR, do they not?
It's not a speedway from Bethune-Cookman to NASCAR, Josh. I want to break it to you.
It was cool though, right, Crowder? Like, do you get nervous? I mean, not necessarily going on First Take. I know you're not nervous going on ESPN because you just do what you do. But when you hear the boos come in when they say your name, a little bit like that doesn't make you a little nervous, just a little bit.
You know what? It's almost is the opposite because it's like now I have to do well because I can swing those people. It's like it's crazy sports, but it's like going to an away game, even if the team sucks. Like the away fans are going to boo at you, and it's almost like, oh, you don't like me? Okay, I'm gonna go out here and show you something. And to be honest, I wouldn't say this to them, but it's a reason why I'm standing up here with the mic on and you're booing me because I know you know me, I don't know you. Like that's kind of the thought,
So you don't say it to them while you're standing in front of them in that gymnasium, but you come on the radio right afterwards, and you'll say it here though.
It's almost the Twitter thing where it's like, oh, you suck, and I'm like, but you follow me and I don't follow you. I kind of live that way, Josh. It's kind of like I don't care about what you say. You really care about what I say. Let's evaluate that situation.
I'll tell you what, I admire that, man. I tell it to somebody's face. F that. As soon as they walk out of the room, I'll talk about them. Crowder has done a lot in terms of like teaching me how to just like, why would you respond? Just who cares? Who cares? Doesn't matter.
It's the craziest. This is the one thing I tell. I had this conversation with a young man today, and he asked me kind of the same thing off air. He was like, man, how do you, being, famous, how do you deal with the haters? I said, okay, so show me a hater. And he went on his thing and showed me some guy that was talking bad about something he did. He's a 6-year senior in broadcasting at Bethune. Like he's trying to get a job right now. And he showed me the guy. He had like 5,000 followers. He showed me the kid that was talking bad about him, and the guy had 111 followers. And I was like, bro, you're going to respond to the 111 follower guy to give his 111 followers your 5,000 followers? You're moving backwards. Like, why the hell respond to him? His 100 people are going to see it. Now you're going to bring your 5,000 people in to see his foolishness. Ignore them. And if it's not an evaluator, who cares? I didn't care who thought about the Omar Kellys. And no, I'll go. Sorry, Omar. Let me put you late on the list. The Alejandro Solanas that thought I sucked and the Omar Kellys that criticized me. Yeah. If it's not a NFL GM or NFL defensive coordinator, why the hell do I care what you think about my play? You're my employer. They aren't.
To hell with the Adam Beasley column.
I still booed the hell out of you though in that 1-15 season. I was in 8th grade, buddy, and I was booing the hell out of you, man.
Solana hated me, Josh. I didn't know if you knew that.
I think I did, and you know that I wore your jersey to game, so I was probably yelling at Solana. It's not Channing's fault. It's not Channing's fault.
You've got a don't you have a picture of you in a Channing Crowder jersey? Is that you that has that, or was that Falero? Somebody I remember
I have one somewhere
has a picture of them that was uploaded to Facebook via like their parents at a Dolphins game back in whatever 2006, Crowder 2007 in a Channing Crowder jersey, and it was somebody that worked here at the station. I don't remember who it was.
Well, I know Josh Appel is going to find the Crowder jersey and frame it on his son's wall.
It's the last addition to the nursery that we have. It's like the last thing you have to do.
So are you naming him Channing finally?
I didn't want it to find out this way.
Hey, little Channing
Randolph. Channing Randolph.
I like it.
Sports Talk on WQAM is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. We have a lot going on today's show. You've probably noticed by now, Hoch is off. He'll be back tomorrow, though. We have a lot to talk about with Hoch because this dude was at Epcot. He texted me today a video. I think he texted you and Jimmy as well. He texted us a video of him driving by a Skyline Chili, which he tells us in the video, Skyline Chili was across from my hotel for the past 2 days, and I never went. And
fraud.
I got a bone to pick with him because I've eaten Skyline Chili 3 times in my life, all 3 times because Hoch forced me to go because I was in the vicinity of a Skyline Chili. And you're telling me you're across the street from one for 2 weeks, and you're not even gonna do the common courtesy of going over there to practice what you preach?
You just got to power through it because Whitty and I were together at a wedding in Cincinnati a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, Skyline Chili all over the place in Cincinnati. And 2 or 3 different times, Hoch asked us if we had gone to Skyline Chili. And we just blew right past it. Didn't acknowledge a single time. And he dropped it. Fraud.
You know what? No, Hoch takes advantage of relationships is what he does. Because he's had me go to In-N-Out Burger and crap 100 times, and I don't even like them salty-ass burgers. But it's your buddy, it's your friend asking you, hey, man, do it for you. Go get a burger. Okay, I'll get a burger for you, bro.
I mean,
but In-N-Out's
bully.
Good.
He's a bully.
But also, Appel, sack up. Like, go have some Skyline Chili.
Nah.
Anyways, I have a bone to pick with him tomorrow. But today on the show, we have Gino Torretta, who's going to join us coming up this hour. We're going to talk with Rob Pizzola, get some picks a little bit later on. We got a week away from Thanksgiving, boys. I don't know how many of you have realized that, but it's November 20th. We've got 2 Hurricanes games left, and the Miami Dolphins, week 12, bye week. There's 6 weeks, including this week, of the NFL remaining. That's it. It
goes by really fast.
And it's bad when your team isn't in the hunt. That's the tough part.
Yeah, well, they might be.
6 and 7. It could be.
I know.
Jets Steelers coming up.
I know we talked about it yesterday. If they get to 7 and 7, then that's when you'll start to kind of show them a little bit of respect in the sense of can they make something happen. I don't think they'll get to 7 and 7, but
yeah, because they're going to lose to Tyler Shuck or something next week.
And something I don't know, encouraging for Dolphin fans. Where they were talking like the Cincinnati Bengals are bad. The Bills might not make the playoffs. If the Chiefs lose tonight, they have like a 10% chance of making the playoffs. Hey, if I come statty today, they pump you with information for this damn first take. So I know some damn numbers right now. So they have like a 13% chance the Chiefs if they lose tonight or if they lose this weekend. Like the swing in teams, the Colts are going to make it. The Pats are going to make it 1 and 2 in the AFC, and the top dogs are falling down. So as a Dolphins fan, if we make this change, I think we should make new coach and get a quarterback. We could swing it in a couple years.
I'm with you. There's a ton of examples. We'll get into that a little bit later on. We're also going to talk with Rohan Nadkarni, who covers the NBA. I don't know how many of you watched the Heat play the Warriors light yesterday.
That version of the Warriors.
Sponsored, let's get the headline, sponsored by Doral Hyundai, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com. The Miami Heat played a Golden State Warriors team that was without Jimmy Butler, of course. I'll get into that in a second. That was without the Steph Curry, Draymond Green lineup. No Al Horford. I mean, they literally played. I'm going to read you the starting lineup right now that the Warriors trotted out there. But it was Will Richard, Guy Santos, Tracy Jackson-Davis, Moses Moody, and Brandon Pajemski, who's probably the only player any of you have ever heard of. Off the bench, Gary Payton II, Buddy Hield, Pat Spencer, and Quentin Post were the 4 players available to them. And this game wasn't close, by the way. Like, the Heat end up covering. They win by double digits. With up until 5 minutes to go when Norman Powell took over the game, it was back and forth. The Warriors took the lead in the third quarter. Like, it got a little dicey until Norman Powell and Bam Adebayo said, all right, enough. We'll talk a little bit more about the game later on. But Jimmy Butler yesterday was in the building. Second night of a back-to-back. I'm not upset that the Warriors didn't play. They've had a really crazy schedule, 3 games in 4 nights, second night of a back-to-back. Jimmy and Steph put up 30-plus points Tuesday night, each of them. Second night of a back-to-back. I'm not blaming them for not playing. But after the game, Andrew Wiggins playing his former team. He's all smiles at half court. He's dapping up Steve Kerr. He's dapping up the entire Golden State Warriors coaching staff. He's talking to Steph. He's talking to Draymond. Bam Adebayo's talking to Draymond. Bam and Steph Curry are showing each other love. Those two are at half court for about 5 minutes after the game. Everybody seems to be Steve Kerr and Eric Spoelstra praising each other before the game. And, you know, Spo took over Team USA from Steve Kerr, and they're talking about memories of one another. They come, they kind of show each other a little love after the game. Jimmy Butler, who sat on the bench the entire game, in street clothes, buzzer rang, head down, walked straight back to the locker room. Mm-hmm. And that was that. And Crowder, I'm trying to figure out.
What do you want him to do? Make ice cream cones?
Like what? How could he be so upset at Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero and Eric Spoelstra for the front office deciding, hey, look, we want you to prove that you deserve an extension? I understand him not having any sort of love for Pat Riley and Mickey Arison and Andy Ellisberg. Like, I get that. But last year when he played here, didn't acknowledge the Heat bench either. And this year, same thing. Doesn't even have the courtesy to play. And doesn't, like, it's just weird. And I don't understand why. I can't for the life of me understand why he wouldn't even, like, this isn't a guy who played here 1 year and got kicked to the curb. Bro, this guy had his best seasons going to battle with Bam Adebayo, and he's not even going to acknowledge him after the game? It's weird.
This place changed the way that the league views Jimmy Butler, because I'm not saying that people thought he was just a guy, but nobody ever thought that he was someone who could be the guy on a team and make a run deep into the playoffs. And he did that multiple years here as the guy, and it completely changed the perspective around the sport about how people view Jimmy Butler. And now, because of what happened with Pat Riley, all the players, the entire staff, as Solana said, I guess, are just now irrelevant to him and don't matter.
Yeah, but I don't get your upset or your frustration towards him. Solana, could you tell me, I know you don't know, but do you think there is a way Jimmy got to Miami and didn't reach out and talk to Bam on the phone or FaceTime or something of the sort?
I don't think Jimmy Butler, I don't know this for sure. I don't think Jimmy Butler has talked to or spoken to Bam Adebayo or Tyler Hero since that trade went through. And you know why I know that, Crowder? Again, I don't know for sure. I'm guessing here. I don't have a source. I'm not telling you that I spoke with any of these guys. Bam Adebayo yesterday shows up to the post-game press conference wearing a hat. You guys see what the hat said? Joy Dealer. I mean, they're trolling him a little bit.
Yeah.
They're trolling him. They're leaning into it. They were so miserable last season with the way Jimmy Butler handled the situation. Again, I'm not trying to get into was Jimmy or the front office right. Everybody feels the way that they want to feel about that, and that's done. That's done. But Crowder, why would Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero and all the guys who were there last season, why is that their fault that the front office didn't pay Jimmy Butler, didn't want to pay Jimmy Butler? It's not. He went to 2 NBA finals, was the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, 3 Eastern Conference finals playing with those guys and with that coach. And he doesn't have the courtesy after the game to just come over, dap them up, and say, "Hey, man, hope everything's good." I mean, come on. Like, what courtesy? Why is he so hurt?
The
with
courtesy. That's a grown man. Why? What does he have to come say hi for? I honestly believe he has talked to Bam or he has talked to those guys. There's no reason for him to come talk to Triple J. That's a puppy. What? There's no reason for him to come over here and say what's up to Jokic and those guys. Why? That's a grown-ass man. You're in your feelings because you got emotional when he left. So now you want the ex-girlfriend to smile at you at the cookout.
Oh, yeah,
he doesn't want to smile at you at the cookout.
Hell yeah, I got emotional when he left because he quit on his way out. I'm cool with him wanting his money. I told you a million times, I'm cool with anybody wanting to get their money. I'm cool with him saying, I deserve this. You guys don't feel like I'm worthy of it. F you. But then guess what? Handle it like a professional.
No.
Don't sulk in the corner. Don't throw your coach, Eric Spoelstra, under the bus who has nothing to do with it. And don't make up all this nonsense about how your tummy hurts and you can't play for a week.
Take some Tums and get on the court.
And then to show up like come on, we're gonna pretend like he handled. I'm not saying the Heat are perfect in this situation either. The Heat, I said it yesterday, they should have known that this was gonna get ugly and they should have moved on from him before. So I'm not telling you that the Heat handled this the right way, but Jimmy Butler looks like a clown with the way he's handled this entire thing.
Putting soft the way he went out. Standing in the corner is embarrassment to his career. I'm going to remember that for the rest of Jimmy's life and career, no matter what he does. A big way to go out for the Heat, 100%. I'm speaking about last night, Solana. Why is anyone upset that Jimmy Butler, to exactly what you just said, as he leaves places, he leaves nasty. As he left Minnesota, the fights and the watch gate when he beat the starters with the Rolex on. When he's sat in the damn corner with the end of the Heat, like he's a petty person. He comes back and you expect all petty to leave Jimmy Butler? Jimmy is in Pat and Mickey's house. He's still cool with their kids. I'm not showing this house any respect. I anticipated Jimmy to act like a bitch over him coming to show love at the Heat. There's no way pregame. If you ask me how Jimmy's going to treat this game last night, I would tell you, oh, Jimmy's going to be loving and come hug everybody. Jimmy is going to be Jimmy for the remainder of his life, and he's petty.
I'm just telling you, Crowder, let's say I'm up for a contract extension, and I've worked with you and with Hoch, and you guys are more responsible for what I've done in my career than anything I've been able to do. Like, you guys have literally platformed me, and Odyssey Len decides, no, we're not going to pay you. Like, we don't think you're worth this much. Okay, well then bleep you, I'm out. And I go somewhere else, and we're on Radio Row together one day, and we're competing against one another. I'm
That's a weird little analogy, ain't it, Josh?
Why would
I love it.
Why would I?
Because now I have Radio Row in my head, and the brick from 98.4 and 98.5 in Nashville is the table between you guys, and Solana's got to walk from one end of the auditorium to the other end of the auditorium.
I'm not going to come up to you now because I'm on another team. I'm on a competing radio station. I'm working 2 to 6 over at 940, and I'm not going to come up to you and say what's up. What the hell? How's that your fault? That this company don't want to pay me. I'm just saying, I don't understand why what happened between Jimmy and the team itself. I'm not talking about the front office. I'm talking about the team itself. That he won't even go say what's up. It's weird. It's bizarre.
He's petty.
Andrew Wiggins, they sent his ass out after he had one of the best series. He won a ring there. And they literally said, hey, we don't think you're good enough. We're going to trade you somewhere else. The Heat were forced to trade Jimmy Butler. The Warriors were like, hey, we're shopping wigs. and Andrew Wiggins is still out there shaking everybody's hand, dapping up everybody. I mean, they They couldn't wait to move on from him, and he doesn't have hard feelings. And Jimmy's got hard feelings after he got everything he wanted. He got the $100 million extension, and he gets to go play second fiddle to the best player of the generation. I mean, he literally won. He won.
And Wiggins,
What's there to be upset about?
in Wiggins' heart and soul. I don't know if I was raised. I don't know if it comes out of the womb this way. Wiggins appreciates what Golden State did for his career. In Jimmy's heart of hearts, and we know Jimmy Butler, do you really think Jimmy appreciates or thinks that the Miami Heat did something for him? Or do you think the Heat should be appreciative of him even coming here and taking y'all to the final, taking y'all deep in the playoffs year after year? Jimmy's not looking at the Heat in any appreciation fashion. Do you know who Jimmy Butler is? Or are you forgetting this after a year or a couple years of having him or after he left? Have you forgot what Jimmy Butler's made of?
In retrospect, I'm glad the Heat never actually got over the hump and won the title with him. Because having to welcome this guy back who hates this entire organization's guts to celebrate a championship team out.
No, but here's why I'm upset. I disagree. First of all, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I want to fight you. I would gladly have taken a banner over anything else. Crowder, I firmly believe, to wrap this up because we have Gino coming on, I firmly believe Jimmy Butler's number 22 will hang in the rafters one day. I firmly believe it. I think it's deserved, by the way. Genuinely, I do. He is responsible, post Dwayne Wade, for elevating this organization. He is. And last year, he came here and he had an agenda. He wanted to say bleep you to everybody, and I'm cool with that. It was still fresh. The wound was still fresh, and he it served its purpose. I'm cool with that. The page has been turned. Everybody's moved on. The Heat are happy with Norman Powell. The Heat are happy with Andrew Wiggins. He's got to be thrilled playing in Golden State. To me, this was the opportunity for a little, hey, come here, man. It's all good. Let's sweep this under the rug. Things were said. Feelings were hurt. But we're going to move on from this at some point. And in a couple of years, we'll be able to drink some wine together and laugh about it all and celebrate the good times. And I thought this was that opportunity. Again, not to fix everything, but to take that step of like, hey, last year was last year. This year's this year. Let's move forward. And instead, he's wearing that dumbass jean jacket and he's walking his ass right back to the locker room to go talk to his friends at Big Face Coffee who are going to charge you $73 for a washed up espresso that tastes like ass instead of just coming over and saying what's up to Bam Adebayo. And I don't like it. And I love that Bam wore the joy dealer hat after to send a little shot.
You have any divorced people in your family?
I do not.
That's why you don't understand this.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years doesn't settle a divorce, brother. I know people been divorced 30 years and cuss each other out on the site.
It's probably a good point. Just to wrap up headlines, the Panthers host the Devils tonight. That'll be on FM 104.3. The Canes, they play Elon tonight. Canes basketball, that is, at 7 p.m. That'll be on AM 560. We'll talk more about tonight's Thursday night football game. The Hurricanes, of course, play this weekend in Virginia Tech. We've got a lot to get to. Your weather in South Florida right now, partly cloudy. Tonight, the lows will be in the mid-70s. Brought to you by Chill Zone AC, featuring reliable Root AC systems. Make your AC great again. Visit chillzoneac.com. The Heisman Trophy winner, Gino Torretta, joins us next on Hochman, Crowder, and Solana.
This is Hoch, Crowder, and Solana.
Hawk, what's the address to the NAACP Delray chapter?
The Miami Hurricanes, they play this Saturday. They've still got some life. We're going to talk with Gino Torretta in a second. He'll join us on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. You can join WQAM, Miami Sports Leader, and Dr. Pepper this Saturday for your chance to score tickets to an upcoming professional Miami basketball game. We'll be at the Walmart in Miami, 3200 Northwest 79th Street from noon to 2 p.m. When I say will, I mean me. I'll be out there again. I'll have some tickets for you. If you're looking to try something one-of-a-kind, feast your taste buds on the new Dr. Pepper flavors. Bold Dr. Pepper meets sweet and exciting flavors like cherry, blackberry, and even zero sugar. Again, that's the Walmart on 3200 Northwest 79th Street to try Dr. Pepper flavors this Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. It's a pepper thing. Don't miss it. Gino Torretta joins us each week thanks to our friends at the local 519 Plumbers Union. In football and in life, it's about being on the right team. Join the winning team at local 519 Plumbers Union, a proven path to a strong career. Visit plumbers519.com. Gino, I appreciate you taking some time today, and I want to get right into it because the Miami Hurricanes have gone.
You don't want to revisit your last conversation that I had the pleasure of listening into. All I can say I thoroughly enjoyed because Appel just sat there, and like when the flames started going out, and then there was maybe a pause for a commercial. He's like, just throws like just some gasoline on it just to start it ablaze again, and then getting you all fired up. So I thought it was very entertaining.
Appel's contribution to that entire segment was, "I'm glad the Heat didn't win a title."
I don't want to celebrate that.
It was just. Well, I'm going to sit over here. I'm going to sit this one out, and then I'm going to do just a drive-by and throw a Molotov cocktail in that argument and get them fired up.
Jackass? Oh, yeah, I'm glad the Heat didn't win a championship. Like, what?
Hey, listen, that's why they asked me to fill in for Hoch. I bring the strong takes.
Exactly. The only thing I would say, Solana, if you think that the Heat made any decision with any player and they didn't talk to their head coach on what he thought, you're absolutely crazy. Because if you don't think those guys that were out there last night had something to do with it, I'm pretty sure they had something to do with it. So
then ignore the head coach, but don't ignore the guys you went to battle with. That's all I'm saying, Gino.
You don't think Pat Riley would have asked the other players?
No, I don't. I genuinely don't.
You're crazy.
Bam,
they're professionals.
You think Bam? Solana, you think Bam was surprised that they want to get rid of Bam? Didn't know. Jimmy and Bam found out together. You don't think that?
I don't think Pat Riley, Andy Ellisberg would sit down with Tyler Hero and say, "Hey, what do you think about keeping Jimmy here long term?"
No. I'm not saying they would pose the question like that. What I would say is any person in that position making a roster move, you have to talk to the team and the leaders on the team and say, "Hey, what do you think of this guy? What do you think of this guy?" Not that, "Hey, we're thinking of moving these players," and not to give your opinion of yes or no, but just, hey, are his skills diminished? Does this fit with what we're trying to do? That's, you have to use all the information you can from all of your people that you can get sources of information from. You're crazy if they didn't talk to the stars on the team and the head coach, the assistant coaches, and then they made a decision as a group and said, "Okay, we're moving on." Now it got messy as hell. And, whose ever fault that is. I mean, whatever. It happened and it happened.
It happened, Gino. But again, if I left this radio show and I saw you out, you still come on with Hoch and Crowder, I'd still go say what's up.
No, no.
If we saw each other at Tony Roma's, you're not.
See, but you don't know. What if all right, I'll give you something. What if you found out you show up Radio Row and you heard Hoch and Crowder like, "Get the hell rid of them. We want more money." Then you wouldn't be dapping them up and saying hello, would you?
Probably not.
Okay. Okay.
I want to get, speaking of bold takes, I want to get your take on what's going on with the Hurricanes, their college football playoff ranking, and seemingly what the committee is trending towards, which in my opinion, and I think a lot of us feel the same, is keeping the Hurricanes out if they don't end up getting lucky and getting into the ACC championship game. The college football playoff is taking a lot of heat, especially from those of us that follow the Canes and the ACC, for pretty much taking losses into account over wins head to head with that Notre Dame battle. I just wonder what your thoughts are on that.
Well, I don't think they're actively trying to keep Miami out. I think that, it's up to each and every team in the top 20. I'd probably say in the top 18, I think still have an opportunity to get into that playoff. It's up to them to play their way in. And, I think they hit a stretch where it was a very concerning stretch of football that they did not look good. They did not look like a team that could make a run in the playoffs. I think that, what I look at is they are discounting, I think, early wins in Miami's case and discounting even less early loss in Notre Dame's case. And I think that, it is what it is. Miami doesn't control their own destiny. The bad thing is even if they win the last two, they need Georgia Tech to lose to Pitt this weekend. I mean, they need Virginia to lose, and you don't have any control. So their only control, they took one step. They blew out NC State last week. All they can do is continue to play like that and hope college football continues to deliver chaos every week, and they slip in the side door because based on the rankings, they say, yeah, Miami's the highest ranked ACC team. And then they put like a gold blocker on it and they say, yeah, but this is really spot for the ACC champion. And Miami, has a very slim chance of getting even in that championship game.
Yeah, I stole your take from last week because it was so good. It's the SEC and the Big Ten and the Pac-12 and ACC are fighting to be the third leg on the big wheel of the.
Well, the Big
playoff.
12, Big 12 is even. With
sorry.
the way Texas Tech's playing, their upper echelon seems to be better than anybody. Can beat anybody.
So they're moving up. But also, I haven't heard. It's funny they moved to 12. I've heard of strength of schedule for 2 decades. I've heard of, strength of wins. Now they're doing strength of loss. Like, when did strength of loss get involved? It's is this the first time you started hearing about strength of loss? Because I've heard that damn phrase 100 times this week.
I think it's 12 people in a room, and what they decide to deem important changes every year. It changes with the committee. I think that, I was reading like one guy took a leave of absence. He was the chair. Randall McDaniel, who I played with, who was All-American Hall of Famer out of Arizona State. I think he was supposed to be on the committee. He's not on the committee. Wesley Walls is on the committee. That's something new. There's some athletic directors. I mean, I don't know. As an athletic director, don't you have a lot more on your plate to actually figure out and watch 65 college football games in a weekend and say, I think this team is better than this? I would just say this. I think that it's going to come out in the wash, and I don't know how it's going to come out. USC goes to Oregon this weekend, and to me, that's the first playoff game, because if USC beats Oregon on the road, they're in. Oregon's out, and USC is going to be in the playoffs, and vice versa. And then you're going to just start seeing dominoes of, okay, what happens with the rest of the SEC schedule? I mean, hell, Florida plays Tennessee. Tennessee maybe has an outside chance, but they're barely favored. They're not even favored by like 5 points. So it's still, there's so much, I would say, drama in these last few weeks. Ohio State hasn't won the Big Ten in 5 years. They won the national championship last year. Everybody's just thinking they're going to beat Michigan. They haven't done it in a long time. What happens if Michigan or Indiana and Ohio State both get the Big Ten championship game? And it will take us back to the BCS when Michigan and Ohio State beat the heck out of each other, and it was like 42-38. And they put them in the national championship game, and they played again. So is it going to be Ohio State, Indiana based on a game 1 and 2? Is Texas A&M going to falter against Texas? I mean, hell, they were down 4 or 5 touchdowns. All I know, our buddy of mine bet them 6-1 at halftime, and when they were down, I was like, "Man, you got some major skills there." But college football, it has delivered great drama every week. It's just the bad thing is Miami doesn't control its own destiny, and the conference as a whole, because Clemson doesn't have a good record, Florida State, there's the lack of respect for the conference as a whole is hurting Miami right now because, look at I think it's Georgia is right outside. They don't control their own destiny. Georgia can not go to the SEC championship game and might have a bye and ranked in the top 4. What more can you want? That would be like going, hey, you know what? You didn't win the AFC East, but you got a bye and you're going right in the conference championship game in the NFL. That's what's crazy about this season. It's been exciting. The good thing, Miami played well last week. I just, it's probably their best offensive performance. Malachi Toney, I tell you what, man, he threw some balls. I was like, damn, now I see why he was playing quarterback in high school.
Yeah.
He was throwing some strikes.
Gino, I feel like a lot of the mistrust for the playoff committee is because you have, now that Mac Rhodes is gone, you have Hunter Yurachek coming out and giving different reasons that contradict each other for different teams. I heard somebody earlier today talk about how they were giving Alabama grief for losing early to Florida State, while at the same time devaluing Miami's early win over Notre Dame. So I want to know from you, how do you think the committee can maybe fix the transparency issue they have? Is it making their deliberations something that people can actually see live in real time? Because what they're doing right now, it opens the door for a lot of people to have a lot of different theories of some nefarious things that go on in there.
I would say this, Josh, probably the best thing they could do is hire some PR firm to sit in a meeting with them. And when they come out, no one from that top 12 committee answers any question. Because you know as well as I do, when messaging gets messed up in any press conference, whether it's the Dolphins, Hurricanes, or any team, you're like, what the hell is going on in there behind closed doors? And I think that's what they've done. But we expect, a decision to be made, and you have 12 different opinions, and one guy to walk out there and say, well, this is why. And it might not be the consensus, but it's what they have. With regard to, the Alabama loss to at the start of the year to Florida State, and then the Notre Dame loss, you should look at those things the same. And then, by the way, you're evaluating Miami against Notre Dame, but I don't with Miami. That's a hard argument to win because you lost recently, and recency bias in college football and rankings is always there. And I will go back to 1990 when we lost 2 games at the start of the year. I thought we had the best team at the end of the season. We got screwed. We went to the Cotton Bowl. We played Texas, who was number 3 in the country, and we beat them by 43 points. And that's what I mean. Why? Because of we didn't get the benefit of the doubt. We were playing the best football at the end of the season. And I don't think Miami's going to get the benefit of the doubt, unless a lot of things need to happen in front of them. And, and obviously, down here, we hope a lot of things happen in front of them.
Gino, are you on the call this week for Touchdown Radio?
We're going to Pitt, Georgia Tech. So I'm going to see. I mean, it's a situation where, Pitt got smoked last week against Notre Dame, and they're giving a lot of credit. This line seems to be a lot closer. Georgia Tech's got an unbelievable offense, number 1 in the country. The quarterback is averaging 340, 250 in the air, and he's a tough as nails kid. I know Wanky's his coach and loves him to death. Their defense is hot garbage and gave up 500 plus to Boston College, who I believe they won 1 game, maybe 2. So
rough for old Bill O'Brien up there.
Yeah, it has been a tough season up there in Chestnut Hill. So, listen, a lot of things need to happen, but hell, college football delivers each and every week, and it'll be fun. It's just fun. But I literally looking at the rankings this week, I think you go down to Michigan at 18, and I think of that, I think from 8 to 18, there's a lot of teams that can move. And like I said, USC is one of them. You know, you're going to have teams either in or out after this week, and you know, it's why their TV ratings are the best. That because of, you know, there is drama. Who's going to make the playoffs? Who's going to lay an egg at home, or you know, and not perform? Nobody thought Alabama was going to lose at home last week, and you know, Oklahoma, and they somehow found a way to beat them.
Gino Torretta joins the show each week thanks to our friends at the local 519 Plumbers Union. With all the changes in how America does business, you can count on one thing: the union-trained plumbers of Local 519. Join a winning team today with Local 519 Plumbers Union, a proven path to a strong career. Visit plumbers519.com. Gino, have a great call this weekend. Can't wait to talk to you next week.
Are we working next week? I mean, I like how you guys have to go in the studio. It's about time that building gets used down there in North Miami.
Don't do that, Gino. Don't do that.
Gino, I'll pick you up on the way in if you like it so much.
Hey,
I'm out here for you.
Solana, just to go down towards your house, that's too far of a drive for me. To go that way is even farther.
By the way, yeah, I already locked you in. 2:25 next week. Jimmy will be here. He'll do the show with you. Okay.
All right.
Jimmy,
So we're doing Monday. We're doing Monday or Tuesday then, because I got the Iron Bowl or something. So
I'll text you.
we got to figure that one out.
Yeah, I'll text you next week. Gino, thank you, man.
All right, see you guys.
All right, there you go. Gino Torretta. We'll take a break. More to get to. Hochman, Crowder, and Solana rolls on after this.
You're listening to the Hoch, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Text threads are meant for pictures of Jimmy's hot dog.
Today.
Oh, okay.
3 o'clock hour on the Hochman and Crowder show. Just got myself an espresso.
I got myself a Coke Zero.
Or so are we committing to this? Are we gonna clean out the vending machine? We kind of got busted yesterday because
We got some rats.
one of our listeners, Manny. I mean, Manny,
What are we
the
doing,
hell?
bro?
What the hell, Manny? Like either you're with us or you're against us. If you're not with Appel, Crowder, Jimmy, and I in trolling Hawk while he's away, then you're playing defense on the show. And I got to be honest, I don't like it. I don't F with that. If you're Team Hawk, then you're not Team us.
Crowder, will you donate to the fund to buy out the Coke Zeros and the vending machines here today?
Do you know Crowder? That's an obvious no.
I know I saw the text thread as I was traveling. Oh, I love it. That's a great idea. Hawk would be so pissed.
But now he knows it's coming.
Still do it. He's gonna be mad walking in the door. It won't be a surprise, but he'll be mad to that point. And then let's get him a bunch of Coke Zeros or Pepsi Zeros and bring them to him. So like we forgot.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I wish we knew who ran that vending machine. Swap out the Coke Zeros. Swap out everything for just Pepsi Zeros.
Products.
Oh man. Now we're
We're
talking.
cooking now.
3 o'clock hour. What's up?
Oh no, I was talking something that I thought about last segment. That were you old enough for the BCS?
Yes.
Solana?
Yeah. The BCS ended like 6 years ago.
No, the BCS ended like 13.
Yeah.
The BCS, the selection, the computer selection.
Yeah.
Since 2013. That's right. Wasn't the FSU title the first non-BCS title? Damn, bro. It's been like 12 years.
Yeah, we're old.
I was a freshman in college.
This is the funniest thing. So when I remember before the BCS, and that's why I know you don't remember before that. When it was a committee, everybody hated the human element. Then you get a computer, people hate the computer element. Then you go back to a committee, and now everybody's stupid. It is made for us to argue. I just thought about this when Gino was talking and we were discussing it. The entire system is made for us to argue.
I mean, look, it gives us a week's worth of content. I just hope they get it right in the end.
But what's right? Because the computer couldn't get it right, and now these dumb people can't either. It's hilarious.
What's right is not twisting our brains into pretzels to justify one team's ranking using the same criteria that would make another team drop in the rankings and not include them. I just want consistency. That's all I want. Is that so much to ask? Apparently.
Well, if it's strength of loss, then I don't know.
Well, I think, gave Oregon credit because they beat Penn State as like a top 5 team early in the season, but that's the only team that they're giving that criteria for. It makes no sense. Does that mean that Miami still gets credit for beating USF when they were ranked 18th or 19th now that USF's out of the rankings?
I think they got us, Josh. They got you because you're emotional.
To make it make sense.
So, Crowder, I'm glad you bring up if I remember something. Today, for 15 minutes of Game Day Uncensored, I want to do something a little different with you, Crowder. Coming up this hour, we're going to talk with Rohan Nadkarni. He covers the NBA for NBC Sports. He's up in Chicago. The Heat play in Chicago tomorrow. But Rohan comes on. He's a big Dolphins fan. He's a big Channing Crowder fan. I always really enjoy that segment. He's a good friend of the show. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, Rob Pizzola will join us as well. We'll do headlines here in a second, but 15 minutes of Game Day Uncensored. Dolphins are on a bye, which is the only reason why I feel comfortable kind of doing something NFL related, but not Dolphins related just for today. We'll get back to Dolphins stuff tomorrow. It's brought to you by the Lexus December to Remember sales event. Get offers on select models for a limited time. Learn more at Lexus.com. Do either of you, I was down a rabbit hole the other day. I'm just in my thinking place, the toilet.
I was going to say, great place to do some thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Although the legs get tired, they fall asleep, and that's never a good feeling. Waking up the legs after a long trip to the banyo, not great.
Yeah, hemorrhoids at 30, not exactly ideal, but whatever.
You got to get the little thing that Hawk used to endorse with the
squatty
foot elevator. Oh
yeah.
Man,
I've got squatty potties in all 3 or 4 of my bathrooms, but I don't use it anymore. I'm over it.
It's a little uncomfortable though. I mean, I'm a big guy. My knees are going to be,
Yeah. Then you have them. Then you rest your elbows on the knees. You can put your head down. Man, you can take a nap.
You're taking a nap on the toilet, bro?
Is that how Elvis died?
Yeah, no, I have the little 5-year-old, so we had the little booster chairs so he could pee in the toilet, and now they're still there, so I use them like squatty potties, and my legs never go numb anymore. I don't know how it works.
So last week or 2 weeks ago, I was just trolling on the show, and I kept calling the football like a different, like the pigskin or the Duke. And somebody had DM me like, you only refer to the field as the gridiron from here on out. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good one. Why is it called the gridiron? I couldn't really figure it out. I know, the iron strike while it's hot, I guess. I don't know. I couldn't figure out why it's called the gridiron. It's not a grid.
I don't know. Wait, it's a grid.
Well, it was a grid. So I looked this up. Why is the NFL, the history of the NFL field, the gridiron, how it evolved over time. And it was a grid in the early iterations of the National Football League. That's how they actually were able to mark where the ball was. And it's actually very fascinating. Back in like 1920, it was a grid literally because that's how they were able to decide whether it was a first down before chains. But did you know about the hash marks, when they incorporated hash marks and why they incorporated hash marks in the NFL, Crowder?
No, I did not. This is interesting to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is fascinating. The hash marks is one of the, and I'm reading from ProFootballHallOfFame.com. The hash marks is one of the most important lines on a football field. The markings determine ball placement throughout a game. There are 2 sets of hash marks, 2 feet long, 4 inches wide, placed at 5-yard intervals, exactly 70 feet and 9 inches at a parallel position from each sideline. They write, prior to 1933, hash marks did not exist. The ball was simply marked where the player was tackled down, and the next play began where the previous play ended.
I kind of love that.
So they go on to explain, this resulted in some interesting offense if the runner went out of bounds or the play ended near the sideline. In that case, prior to 1933, before the original hash marks were instituted, the offense had to adjust to an extremely unbalanced formation and run to the wide side. That gave defenses a distinct advantage. So for the first 15 years of the NFL or of professional football in the United States, there were no hash marks. So if you're a ball carrier and you ran out of bounds, the spot of the ball, the official would just mark it at the sideline, and you literally had to line all your offensive linemen, let's say you ran to the right, to the left of the ball, and now you could only run a play one way.
Now, in fairness, it worked back then because all the linemen were Solana's size. Now they're double his size, so the actual room you have there, not as much.
Is that not fascinating? I mean, just like, I don't know. I was reading that. I'm like, what? That is crazy.
Yeah. And just thinking about it now with the players that were allowed to play, probably wasn't a lot of sweeps going on because nobody was that fast.
Well, they ran the wing T. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know if the running backs were the way they look now.
That was Larry Zonka. Larry Zonka, but even smaller than him.
But this is like way.
No, I know. This is 30, 40 years before that.
Zonk's not even born.
No.
At this
I get that.
No,
so how did it become?
You'd have to get mad at the ball carrier. Like, why the hell are you getting so close to the sideline? It's limiting our plays.
Don't run left, don't run right. But you'd have to have, at this point, I think the forward pass was invented, was legalized at this point. You have to have like a right-handed thrower and a left-handed thrower, technically, because imagine the ball spotted on the right side of the field throwing left. Now you're throwing across your body every single time, or vice versa. It's just like, to me, it's fascinating how they played this game back in the day. But here we go. How did the field come to be known as the gridiron? Again, prior to the original hash marks and prior to the field looking the way it did, it was actually a grid, and here's why. Attempting to open up the game and reduce its brutality, football rules were modified in 1906 to allow the forward pass. The new rule stipulated, however, that a forward pass could not cross the line of scrimmage within 5 yards of either side of the center. So if you were throwing the ball forward, you couldn't throw the ball further than 5 yards of the center. So where the line of scrimmage was. This was consistent with a 1903 rule stating that the first player to receive the ball from center also could not cross the line of scrimmage within that same space. If the ball carrier was the recipient of a handoff, lateral or backward pass, he could cross the line at any point. To assist game officials, the field was marked off in a 5-yard by 5-yard grid. Historians believe that the term gridiron was a result. So if you were doing a forward pass, or if you were the first person to grab the ball from the center, you could not throw the ball deeper than 5 yards from where the center was, and you could not run in the vicinity of the center for more than 5 yards. So they literally had to paint a grid 5 yards by 5 yards in order to be as consistent officiating these rules. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a mother bleeping 15 minutes of game day uncensored that you will remember. You just learned why the NFL field is referred to as the gridiron.
That was very difficult to follow. I'll be honest.
That was a boring ass game to watch. I'm glad somebody smart got involved.
Well, you can see why, Hoch had to quit playing football back in 1903. That's a too shy. He's not even here. But it is fascinating, right? Like to see how the game has evolved. Baseball has been played the same way since 1806. The only difference is the players do a lot less drinking before and during games now. Allegedly.
Well, yeah. Oh, the rules. You're right. And basketball added 3-point line and all that stuff. But I honestly, I love football. I didn't know all this foolishness in 1900s.
Yeah. No. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Appel, you're an NFL broadcaster. Did you know any of this stuff?
I mean, kind of, but not like the full breadth of the explanation.
You can just say you didn't know. It's all right.
I knew. I said I wouldn't fully understand, and I still don't because the explanation that you gave. Read a little better next time.
Text it in 305-567-0560. Were you fascinated by this, or was that the dumbest piece of information you've ever heard? And we'll tally up. Jimmy will tally up all the votes, and if that was the dumbest information you ever heard, well, then I will forever hand off 15 minutes of game day uncensored duties to anybody else on the show. Text it in 305.
I do believe it could have been articulated better, but I get it. You my boy. I get it.
Articulated better. I mean, what are you guys shooting up Tylenol? Like, how much better could I have articulated that? I read it word for word from the Pro Football Hall of Fame website. You got an issue? Take it up with them.
The first person to touch a ball, and then the 5 yards from the center.
I think this perfectly encapsulates how this segment went. Here are 2 comments in a row from the chat. 1, it was great. The very next one, that was rough.
That's fair. I like this
man.
one. Insert McDaniel's what?
Hey man, they didn't know what to do offensively before black people could play. Hey guys, we're gonna keep all the white guys piled up in the middle of the field. Let them push each other for 4 quarters.
I would want to see like a modern version of football where the hash marks don't exist and you got to start the plays.
Right.
I do want to see that.
Josh, they would put 8 people on the field side and blitz the hell out of the field. There'd be nowhere to go. The field, you could condense the field to 10 yards.
Some teams already do that because they stink.
All right, let's do headlines here. Enough about hash marks. Let's do headlines.
Love a good hash mark.
They're brought to you by Doral Hyundai, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or DoralHyundai.com. College football. I don't understand why the hash marks are wider in college football than in the NFL. And
that I don't know.
It makes it more difficult. In my opinion, I could be wrong here. Does it not make it more difficult to make a field goal?
Here's why.
Especially from closer to the field. And wouldn't you make it more difficult at the NFL level compared to the collegiate level?
Well, in college, they want to encourage more diverse formations and plays that utilize that extra lateral space on the field. That's according to Google AI. So there you go.
Yeah, it's advantageous to offenses. You're 100% correct. For kickers, it sucks. But offenses to have like
Sink in
bootlegs and things, it's advantageous to offenses.
Okay.
College kickers that want to make a difference if the hash marks were the width of the goalposts or if they were kicking from the sideline. College kickers are terrible by and large across the board, no matter where they're kicking from.
They always look scared too. I hate college kickers. They look terrified every time they go out there.
I think UF won a championship one year. Maybe it was 06 with a kicker who literally missed like 70% of his kicks during the season. I can't remember his name. Do you remember who I'm talking about?
Oh, I do, because I used to hate him until I loved him because he hit the one at Ohio State. Same kicker that was beating Ohio State. I hate him too, but I love him.
Well, let me just run through some headlines here. The Florida Panthers are back on the ice tonight. They host the New Jersey Devils. That'll be at 7 p.m. Listen to that, FM 104.3 WQAM. Canes Hoops, they play Elon tonight, 7 p.m. Canes are a heavy favorite. That'll be on AM 560 tonight. The Heat did win last night. They beat the Golden State Warriors light. No Steph, no Jimmy, no Draymond, no Al Horford, no Kuminga. Miami got a big-time performance in the fourth quarter, 17 points from Norman Powell. They'll play the Bulls tomorrow. The Bulls beat the Blazers with a buzzer beater last night. Vucci Main for the win at the buzzer. That'll be an NBA Cup game. The Heat, if they want to advance out of group play in East Group C, have to win this game tomorrow. If they fall to 1-2, they're essentially eliminated. So that's the deal there. And the Dolphins today, they signed AJ Green from the Los Angeles Rams practice squad. So either the Dolphins found a new DB or they have a washed-up wide receiver, and I don't know which one it is.
I tried to say, I think AJ Green he hung it up, the one we know.
Nah, he's gonna fill Juju Brent's spot, who was placed on the IR because cornerback AJ Green was poached from a practice squad. He's got to be signed to the 53-man roster. So there are some reinforcements there.
Crowder, the guy that you hate but also love, Chris Hetland, 06.
Hetland, yeah, he used to have his little buzz cut. You know, when you dislike somebody, you could say anything with hate. With that buzz cut, I hated his hair. I hated him.
Yeah, with that 6 of 15 field goals there, ridiculous. Do better.
6 was sweet. 6 was sweet.
I want to talk more NBA coming up in the next segment. Before we get there, your weather, it's sponsored by Chill Zone AC, featuring reliable Root AC systems. Make your AC great again. Visit chillzoneac.com. Right now in South Florida, the sun is out. It's in the 80s. Tonight, the lows will be in the 70s. Rohan Nadkarni is going to join us again. Writes about sports for NBC Sports. Also covers the NBA. Pays close attention to the Miami Heat, plus the Miami Dolphins as well. So we'll kind of just go around the NBA, the Heat, and some Dolphin stuff with him on the other side as the 3 o'clock hour continues on the Hochman, Crowder, and Solana show.
Hey.
Nah, you're ready, right? You're trolling us? You're ready to go?
I am ready to go.
Okay. Because you're going to talk to us
about... I don't want, you know what? I was making somebody's listening because I don't want nobody to live with chronic pain anymore now, Solana. You know what I'm saying? If anybody's living with chronic pain, you are not listening to me when I tell you about South Florida's QC Kinetics doctors that are standing by to show you how your own body can help treat that pain. The arthritis pain, the tendon pain, the joint pain. I had it, and that's past tense had, because I went to QC Kinetics. They're at the forefront nationwide of the innovative chronic pain relieving treatment system called regenerative medicine. I broke my heels. I had the knee surgeries, feet surgeries, but I broke my heels, and they were trying to put me in casts, put me in a wheelchair for 3 months. Called QC. I had PRP shots. I had healing lasers, 2 treatments, and I was back to normal. No casts, no wheelchairs, no nothing. And I'm not the only person being helped. Thousands and thousands of people have been helped by QC Kinetics. Your only options aren't just drugs and surgery, because that's what people do. That's the old way. Give them a script, get some drugs, have surgery. Surgeons go to school for a decade to do surgeries. They love to do surgery. It's their job. Look into regenerative medicine, and QC Kinetics is here to help you. Call and make an appointment today. Don't replace it. Regenerate it. 844-77-REGEN. That's 844-777-3436. Tell them I sent you down there, and your consultation is free. Look into regenerative medicine, and that consultation is absolutely free. You have other options, and tell them Crowder sent you in, and you'll receive $500 off your first treatment. There's a brand new office on Southeast 17th Street in Fort Lauderdale. They are growing because it works. You got to look into regenerative medicine, and QC Kinetics is the best. Don't replace it. Regenerate it. 844-77-REGEN. That's the number. 844-777-3436.
You're listening to the Hoch, Crowder, and Solana Show.
50% of the times I stay in hotels, I clog the toilet.
3 o'clock hour on the Hochman, Crowder, and Solana show continues. Hoch is out. Appel is with us for another day. Or today, right? You're
Just
off
today.
tomorrow.
Yeah, off tomorrow.
You're off tomorrow. Crowder is in, where are you at, Crowder? You're in Daytona, right?
Daytona Beach.
Yes, sir. Hey, join WQAM's Miami Sports Leader and Dr. Pepper this Saturday for your chance to score tickets to an upcoming professional Miami basketball game. I'll be at the Walmart in Miami, 3200 Northwest 79th Street from noon to 2 p.m. Again, we'll have some tickets, and we'll have Dr. Pepper if you're looking to try something one-of-a-kind. Feast your taste buds on the new Dr. Pepper flavors. Bold Dr. Pepper meets sweet and exciting flavors like cherry, blackberry, even zero sugar. 3200 Northwest 79th Street. Come out to try Dr. Pepper flavors at Walmart. That is Saturday, and while you're there, again, you'll have a chance to win tickets to a professional Miami basketball game. It's a Pepper thing. Don't miss it. Speaking of basketball, I am very excited to welcome in Rohan Nadkarni, who is one of our favorite guests every single time I can convince him to jump on. And I have to use the ploy of, hey, you get to talk football with Channing Crowder. And you know, I do that proudly every single time. Rohan is a sports reporter at NBC News. And Rohan, you're still up in Chicago, right?
I am. Yeah. I'll be in South Florida next week, though. So all right. Let's see you guys.
Are you going
to mess up me and Rose? Don't mess up me and Rose's relationship. Just let us be happy, man. You a hater.
I was just thinking when I got on here how perfect a signed photo of Channing Crowder's exception Founder would be over my shoulder.
I got you, brother. I don't have any addresses or anything. We have to do that later on. I got you.
Hey, Rohan, I don't know. Do you have a microphone? I'm struggling hearing you, and I want to make sure that we maximize our time with you. I don't know if maybe your mic's not connected, or maybe we just have to reconnect with you. I just want to make sure that what's going on up there? The Wi-Fi in Chicago is
must be the same Wi-Fi that Crowder dealt with in Vegas.
Can you guys hear me now?
It's a little bit better. We'll see. Why
don't I come back on, because I want to make sure I got a lot of Dolphin mistakes.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
I want to make sure.
I'll be right back.
If not, we'll call you. That works as well. While we wait for Rohan.
I mean, that was a great appearance. Comes on, asks for a Crowder autograph, and then see you later.
Hey, man, I'm watching NBA today, talking about basketball. They're talking about the Heat right now.
They're showing love to Norman Powell right now as well.
They were talking about they called the Heat's offense controlled chaos. They said nobody really knows what they're doing, but it's working because it goes so fast.
It's low key like a really good way to describe it. Norman Powell yesterday dropped 17 in the fourth quarter. He shot 8 of 9 in the fourth quarter. I mean, Crowder, this dude's going to make an all-star team. I'm telling you, he's going to make the all-star game if you keep playing this way. And it's funny because he went 7 of 8, 2 of 3, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 17 points. He was a plus 10 in the fourth quarter, and the Heat needed it. This was literally like a one-score game with about 5 minutes to go in the game. So the Heat genuinely needed it. As we welcome back Rohan Nadkarni.
I'm back. Where do you leave off, gentlemen?
There we go. That sounds a lot better. we were just talking, Rohan, about Norman Powell. And I don't know, like, exactly how much attention you've been paying to the Miami Heat. But Norman, I've been telling Crowder's poised right now to make an all-star appearance if he continues to play like this. Has he exceeded expectations when he was traded here? Because I think everybody saw he was coming off a career year. But, man, I mean, he is, I think, blowing expectations out of the water in a Heat jersey.
It's really been a perfect fit. Solana, I've watched, I think, every single game except one. I've absolutely been plugged in because I think this is a really fun team and a really fun season. Watching Norm has almost been bittersweet for me because I'm just thinking about how perfect of a fit he would have been the last 3 years when this team was kind of battling in the Eastern Conference, going deep in the playoffs. Seeing what he's brought to the team, thinking about how he could have helped in 2023 and 2022, et cetera. But he's been a great fit. It's been a ton of fun. To your point, I think I saw today fastest to 300 points in Heat history. Think about the players that have been on the Miami Heat. He's a professional scorer, a scorer first. And I think Spo has really unleashed him in the sense that they're not really asking Norm to play make. They're not putting a lot on his plate. They're like, go get buckets, and that's what he's been doing.
And Ro, to that point, and speaking about the pace of play, I'm not used to watching the Spo team play this fast, and they're taking shots with 18 seconds left on the shot clock. Like, we're not used to that. We're used to the drag them in the mud. It is, you said it, it's fun to watch. I've enjoyed this way more than I've enjoyed it watching the Heat in the past, especially without the big three. But is it sustainable for success? Because it seems like this is a style of guys running out of juice and getting hurt a lot.
Well, it depends what your definition of success is, Channing. Do I think they can have regular season success playing this way? I really think they can. They have a younger team. I think they have a deep rotation, right? Think about how they play those all bench lineups. They're not playing Bam 45 minutes a night and asking him to play at this pace. They still haven't had Tyler here yet. So I think that they can play at this pace and be successful. Can they do it in the playoffs? Now that's a different question. You saw a team like the Indiana Pacers, for example. Now, they don't play the exact same style as the Miami Heat, but they're a team that liked to play fast. They played full court pressure in the playoffs. I was there at the NBA Finals watching these guys. We're talking about games 5, 6, and 7, the last 3 games of the NBA season, picking guys up, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, full court. So I do think it's possible. I think to be the championship level team that everyone wants down here, that's not what this group is, right? I think we all know they're kind of missing that star player, but this is a really fun team. I think what Spo has done is maximize the group, which is what's most important. So I think this can definitely be a successful regular season team. And in the playoffs in the East, who knows?
Rohan, how do you see Tyler Hero meshing with Norman Powell, meshing in this system when he does come back?
That's really the $1 million question. I think that when Tyler comes back, you will almost definitely see the team run more pick and rolls. It would be kind of foolish not to. Tyler, I think, ran the 17th most pick and rolls per game last year. He was really high usage in that category. We know that, especially late in games in the half court, you saw like in that Knicks game a couple weeks ago, there have been a couple games, the Cavs game late in the fourth quarter. How are they going to get offense? Can you play this way late in the fourth quarter? I think Tyler's going to help a lot in those situations just because they'll have kind of a last resort, hey, let's run a pick and roll. I think him and Norm playing off of each other offensively is going to be really good. It's going to create even more spacing. The starting lineup does not have a ton of great spacing right now, and Tyler should help that a lot. But there is that defensive question, and Davion has been, I think, remarkable.
Hey, Rohan, before we wrap up our Heat conversation and talk some Dolphins with you, does this, with how Spo transformed the offense, does this have the potential to be like his Mona Lisa in terms of coaching? I know it sounds ridiculous because he's won 2 titles. He went to 4 NBA finals with the big 3. And I think, even that team, he kind of reimagined how you play with a big. And the Heat, to a certain extent, kind of changed the way that basketball was played in the short term. I know Steph Curry had much more of an impact. And then he made Dion Waiters and Hassan Whiteside fun. And like there's so many things. He had Haywood Highsmith guarding Jason Tatum in a Game 7, and like nobody was upset about it. Like there's so many things you can point to. That Game 7 in Boston a couple years ago after blowing the 3-0 lead. But if this continues to work, there's a possibility he wins Coach of the Year for the first time in his career. Will this be like his Mona Lisa, his best piece of art as one of the best coaches? I could not.
I think it's going to be hard to top taking an 8th seed to the finals and beating the Boston Celtics and Milwaukee Bucks on route to it. I mean, I will say, I think history people will look back, oh, Jimmy went crazy, the 3-point shooting went crazy. I think that this has the chance. 2 things have to happen. Once, the offense has to get back in the top 10. Their offense is actually 16th in offensive rating right now. So they're scoring a lot because the pace is super high. But I think the playoffs, how it will shake out in the playoffs, will they stay committed to it in the playoffs? Will he reinvent them again in the playoffs? Will he get to the second round? Will he get to the conference finals? I think it has the potential, depending on how deep they go, especially with this group. But I do think, if they win something close to like 50 games, he's going to have a legitimate chance. To your point, he's never won the award before. I think people will want to give it to him, but nobody there every year, Solana, you know it. Every year we hear it in the preseason. They're going to play fast this year. I never believe it. I'm like, show it to me, in game 10 of the season, I'll believe it. This year they're showing it, and I believe it.
Rohan Nadkarni, again, he's a sports reporter for NBC News. Let's do it. Let's talk some Dolphins.
I was just going to say Mona Lisa one more time. I thought we were trying to break a record.
Well, this is Mike McDaniel's Mona Lisa.
Guy, it's like the guy who's knows only one painting. He's just like, it's like, this movie is like the Mona Lisa. Yeah, yeah.
We got a record now, fellas.
I mean, what are you guys? Art majors?
Academic.
Starry Night? The worst part is, like, I've been to the Met, I've been to the MoMA, I've been to the Louvre, like, I've been to all these museums, and for the life of me, I could not. I'm sweating. Like, one more painting.
Mona Lisa.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Are you buying, Rohan? Are you buying the Dolphins 2-game winning streak? They're 4-7. They enter the bye week, and they've got the Saints, the Jets. Like, what do you make of this season thus far?
Okay. I'm so glad you have me on here and asked me this question, because I've kind of made this argument to other people, but no one cares about it. And this is the forum for me to make this argument. And I'm about to explain why Mike McDaniel should be the Miami Dolphins head coach in 2026.
Wow.
What happened?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You got it.
Now listen to me. Listen to me. Here's the thing. Every year, even when Tua was good, even when Tua was leading the league in passing, what did we hear from people? He's not that good. He's a limited quarterback. He's being propped up. Okay. I have a couple things to say about this. Number one, if Tua is as bad as everyone says he is, right? And you can lead the league in passing with him. Okay, think about how much you would have, Solana, if I came up to you 20 years ago and said 1 year the Dolphins will have the most exciting offense in the NFL, what would you have been willing to give up for that? Think about what you would have been willing to give up to watch the Miami Dolphins offense we got to see in 2022 and 2023. And they did it with a quarterback everyone said was a fraud, okay? If Tua is as bad as everyone says he is, I don't know how you don't look at McDaniel as one of the greatest offensive minds of a generation. And if it was as simple as running his system, Channing knows it. It's a copycat league. Everyone would do it, okay? It's in fact not that easy, I think, to coach the system he has. You look at what he's done this year, the last few weeks. I know people have been killing him for not committing to the run game, They're running with a backup right tackle, a right guard they signed off a practice squad in the middle of the season, a rookie left guard, people are saying is one of the worst left guards in the NFL. And they've transformed this rushing attack the last few weeks. You know what we haven't talked about at all? The fact that Tyreek Hill's not even on this team anymore. Like, no one's bringing that up. And I don't think they've had some lulls offensively, but they've also had some great moments. I just think that he is such a unique offensive mind. And beyond that, this is kind of a weird thing to talk about. I'm curious, Channing, I'd really like to get your perspective here, genuinely as a player, because I don't know if you guys remember when Tua had that really scary concussion in the Bills game last year, on the field, he had the fencing pose again. I think there was a story that the first person he asked for after that was Mike. He was like, where's Mike? Like, to me, there's like a real human aspect of what Mike McDaniel does that I think is so unique as an NFL coach that I just kind of think that's the way forward. I think that's the way to coach a team, the relationships he builds, what he's done offensively. And beyond that, like what they did with the roster in the offseason, it became one of the oldest rosters to one of the youngest. The offensive line we know sucks. The defense needed time to gel. I just think there's too many positives to give up on a guy who's not perfect. My fear is that he's going to go somewhere else and be a great coach. So I'll lob it up to you guys, but that's my case.
No. Well, I would say the relatability thing is a lot. I think there's less Sabins, the Belichick's, the guy that thinks this isn't Tua talking about, Lord, this is QB1. Mm-hmm. I think that thought of that just as interchangeable pieces, I think that's gone. If you look at the good teams like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, you start looking at those guys and who is it, Joe Brady and Josh Allen, and that connection, I think it's bigger. But to your point about McDaniel, I think he is an awesome play caller. I don't know if he's head coach material there. And I don't know if he can galvanize the guys to go out there. I don't know if that laughing, playful, even the players, coaches aren't as silly and goofy and all that as him. And the team comes off as soft with having a nicer head coach.
Yeah.
Where you see the teams that are winning, the Dan Campbells, the Nick Siriannis, those tougher teams, even the John Harbaugh. That's the thing with me and Mike McDaniel is the entirety of the team. I do believe he's a good play caller, but also it surprised me that you're on McDaniel's side. How do you feel about them getting rid of Chris Grier and keeping McDaniel? Because I thought that would be a marriage that had to be broken at all costs.
Here's the thing. You can't sit here and pretend like that's the best way to run a franchise. We all know that like history isn't kind to teams that decide we're going to keep one of the coach and GM and kind of do a shotgun marriage with one of the guys with the next guy. The Dolphins have done it too many times in our lifetime, and we've been upset about it, right? I will say, I think Grier had to go. I'm never the type to be like, that's not true. I've called for people to be fired before. Heck, first half during the Commanders game, I was like, McDaniel can't get on the plane after that field goal. I was like, maybe not, okay? Or not kicking the field goal, I should say. I do think, what Grier did between the cap and not building the right roster around Tua, I think is the reason why he had to be fired. And obviously everyone wants an elite quarterback. This isn't me defending Tua and saying he's better than Justin Herbert or he's better than Josh Allen, etc. You look at what the Broncos have done for Bo Nix. You look at what the Eagles have done for Jalen Hurts. These are teams that are winning because they've found a way to build the exact right roster around your quarterback. Is it harder when you don't have an elite quarterback? Obviously, right? Obviously, you want Josh Allen who can erase the mistakes, who can be a guy that's like, we don't have any good receivers, but it doesn't matter. Yes, but I would say it's harder to find an elite quarterback than it is to build a right roster around a pretty good one. And I think the Dolphins still deep down somewhere have a pretty good one. If they can, when was the last time Tua had like 3 seconds to drop back in the pocket and scan the field? Can I see one season of that before I write the guy off?
Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Because even if he did, if he feels somebody coming, he's throwing the ball away anyways.
Yeah.
Right into the ground.
Yeah.
Right into the ground.
It's just unfortunate. One thing also people have not really talked about this year, because I think something that's sad for me is people will look at Tua this year and be like, see, we told you. This is who this guy has always been. The physical decline he's shown is something people have not really talked about. Like, he was never the strongest thrower, but it was never this bad. He was never the most mobile guy, but it was never like this. And I don't know if it's a fear. I don't know if it's what they've told him to do, but he looks like a different guy.
It's definitely the physical aspect of it. The injuries piling up over and over again, because this, we said it earlier in the season, the 2022 health version of him that was healthy, obviously not when he was concussed, completely different guy than the one that we've seen this year. Completely different.
Rohan, we got to go because we're up against it, but I appreciate you stopping by, and we love talking.
I just wanted 1 full hour of Dolphins talk, please. I'm ready.
Here's the thing. Rohan's been wanting to come in studio with us, but Hoch and Crowder have never been in studio. That's changed, Rohan.
Yeah, return to work. Good. I agree.
The boss was like, "Hey, get your ass back in studio."
My bad. I'm remote, so I can't even. My bad.
So when you're here next week, text me and we'll bring you in. So we'll try to bring you in so we can do some Dolphins, break it down with you, but get a better take than bring it back to McDaniel. I mean, come on, workshop.
But I put a spin on it. Though. I said he's not guy.
I was surprised as hell about that one.
Me too. I like it. Rohan Nadkarni, again, he's a reporter covering several things, sports especially, for NBC News. We appreciate you, man, and we'll talk soon.
Anytime, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Rohan.
Go. All right, we'll take a break. 4:00 hours coming up next. We'll try to win some money with Rob Pizzola, who will join us in the 4:00 hour on Hochman, Crowder, and Solana.
If your team's good, if your team's bad, if you had a bad day, good day, I'm telling you someplace you can go and enjoy yourself, and that's Tootsie's Cabaret, largest strip club in the entire world. I'm not just saying that. It is true. And they're open from noon till 6 a.m., 18 hours a day. You can go over there. Like I said, no matter how you feeling, Tootsies, you can celebrate, you can mourn. Your team's great, your team's bad. Go and get the delicious food out of the amazing kitchen. Not some guy back there with a frying pan, a full kitchen. They have food specials every single day, $100 bottles and half-price drinks every day till 8 p.m. 2 levels of entertainment, complete restaurant, complete bar, big bar in the back, pool tables, all kind of stuff, 4 full liquor bars. You got to get the Tootsies. And during football season, it is amazing. Canes and Fins, Hard Rock is right around the corner. Pre-game over there. You go over there and worry about rain, don't worry about bugs, don't worry about any of that. Getting the grill over there. Go to Tootsies, have you a good time, then go to the game, and then go back to Tootsies. Don't have to worry about traffic. I'm telling you, I'm setting up your game days for you. And if you have your Fins or Canes tickets, you get in Tootsies for free. You got to head to Tootsies Cabaret. And on Sundays, it is amazing because they have a tailgate takeover. I just said go to tailgate there, but noon to 5 p.m. on Sundays, $10 chicken wings, smash burger with fries, fried shrimp with fries, cheese pizza, and chicken nachos, only $10. A tailgate takeover menu on Sundays from noon till 5 p.m. Get to Tootsie's Cabaret. I've been going there for 20 years since I got down here. I'm telling you, any game, football right now, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, MMA, UFC, archery, whatever you like to watch, there are dozens of TVs in Tootsie's. And during commercials, you know there's going to be beautiful entertainers up there on stage. Head to TootsiesCabaret.com for more information.
This is Hoch, Crowder,
sounds like a Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Oh, is this Home Alone? Is this because it's the anniversary of Home Alone 2, Lost in New York?
That is correct.
Crowder, favorite all-time Christmas movie, and why is it Home Alone 2? Well, you'd have to unmute yourself to answer. That would help.
That would help a lot.
Oh,
I made a hell of a point, but I forgot it.
Best point you ever made, in my opinion.
It's not Home Alone 2 because Home Alone 1's better than Home Alone 2 by far. Oh,
That might be the worst take you've maybe ever had.
Almost Christmas. It's a black movie y'all have never seen because y'all don't watch black movies.
Correct.
You're okay, Josh. You can laugh.
I won't. I was giving it a second to breathe. I was letting the joke sit. Not a joke.
Yeah. No, Home Alone 1 is a very I can watch Home Alone 1 again. I can't watch any other ones.
You can't watch Home Alone 2 is widely considered the best of the Home Alone variety. Apparently there's like 5 Home Alones.
Is there?
Yeah, I didn't Jimmy was telling me the other day there's like 5 Home Alone movies.
Yeah, they got another little boy because it couldn't be Macaulay Culkin at 35. So they got another little boy, and he's just as annoying as Macaulay Culkin.
Home Alone inflation. Too many.
Is that the 5th one? Everything costs a lot of money. He can't buy any more toys.
Are you proud of that joke, Appel?
No, I was just saying there's too many Home Alones.
No, I mean we know what inflation
Well,
is. Are you
well,
proud
no,
of
Crowder thought I was trying to come up with a name for the 5th one.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I
yes,
thought
to answer your question.
you know how he had to buy his own food, but inflation, now he can't eat. Home Alone Survivor, like he really has to survive and figure it out. Home Alone, the bad guys win when they kidnap the little boy. I like this. I like this path.
All right. I apologize to everybody for whatever path this conversation is
Let's talk about the gridiron again.
taking us down.
They kidnap Macaulay, and then Liam Neeson has to go find him. Little
But,
Home
like,
Alone crossover.
Macaulay Culkin as an adult, right? We're talking about like he gets kidnapped today.
Bro, he's a huge Rams fan.
You know,
Macaulay
it
Culkin
is-
is. And I saw him. No lie, he weighs about 100 pounds soaking wet. He is a tiny, tiny human being.
As ridiculous as this conversation is, and I can't believe I'm going to keep it going. If they remade Home Alone, people would line up in theaters
easy.
to watch
Yep.
it, right? Like if they got Macaulay Culkin to revive the role, and somehow, some way
He
now
was the dad.
he's the dad, and now his son is getting lost in New York or whatever, however you want to frame it. I mean, that movie would probably be the highest grossing Christmas movie of all time, no?
There's got to be some writer somewhere that has pitched this to one of these studios, and the script is just sitting on somebody's desk, because that feels like the obvious and the right way to resurrect Home Alone. And I'm kind of rooting for it now.
Yeah. Then his face, once he figures out he left his son at home and he does the same cheek slap as a grown man. Little Kevin It's Kevin Jr. and he names him Junior. Come on, man. We just created something. I like this.
Bring back the pigeon lady as well. She was a hit.
Yeah.
You've never seen Home Alone 2, just admit it.
Oh, I've seen Home Alone 2. They're in the condo. I just didn't like it. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
But I'm telling you,
have
talking about it's nostalgia you're talking about. I've watched Jurassic Park Rebirth 4 times already on the plane.
Is that the new Jurassic Park?
Yep, and it's not that good.
It
makes no sense. It's stupid. The storyline is terrible, but I'm just a Jurassic Park fan.
Yep, doesn't matter. I don't care what happens in a Jurassic Park movie. I don't care who's in a Jurassic Park movie. I will watch it. I haven't seen this one yet, but I'm going to watch it.
I've never seen any of them.
You haven't seen Jurassic Park?
Nope.
Too gory? I don't understand.
Never seen it.
Why?
Just haven't.
You don't like dinosaurs? Who doesn't like dinosaurs?
Oh, I'm fine with dinosaurs. I've been on the ride. I love going to the theme park where the Jurassic Park ride is, but I've just never seen the movie.
That's bizarre.
I don't like it. I don't trust you now. I used to trust you.
That's a great point, Crowder. I don't think I can trust somebody
I get to go home.
Born in the United States who hasn't seen Jurassic Park.
Well, because you guys did not react this way to me, revealing that I've never seen Goodfellas or The Godfather, and I've since watched all of that. This is a way more dramatic reaction than you guys finding out I didn't watch the others.
Because Goodfellas is one of my favorite movies. But Crowder, correct me if I'm wrong. Goodfellas, The Godfather. If you grew up or you were born after like the 90s, I could see why you wouldn't watch the movie. You were a kid when it was coming out. You weren't even born yet, and until you become an adult, you just don't watch the movie. Jurassic Park, I mean, that's like what your parents put on for you. Like if it's on TNT, that's what you watch as a kid. Jurassic Park. You're fascinated with dinosaurs as a kid. Why wouldn't you watch that?
It came out in 93. I was born in 94. I'm gonna watch it.
So was I.
Okay, but there are enough years past. There's new movies for me to watch. Land Before Time. That was my dinosaur movie that I liked growing up.
You can go
Great
home.
movie.
Right? Thank you, Jimmy.
You should go home.
You're watching Wild Kratts. Get out of here. Watch Jurassic Park.
Land Before Time. It's like the Rugrats version of Jurassic Park.
Love the Land Before Time.
They are cute.
I have a list of movies that Appella has not seen here. I've been keeping track here because I'm fascinated by this stuff. Goodfellas, Casino.
Well, you could take Goodfellas off that list.
No, that'll stay on the list.
But I've seen it.
Scarface, which is truthfully that should be a sin. That should be a jailable offense.
Well, when this came up the last time, I told you I get the idea. All right, say hello to my little friend. I got it.
Not wrong. Yeah. Any of the Friday movies you've never seen?
No.
I talked about that earlier in the show. I know why he doesn't watch those.
Crowder, on this date in 2009, The Blind Side released to theaters as well. We were talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
They make Michael look like a big damn dummy.
That was a good run, huh? The Proposal and then The Blind Side.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Jimmy.
You know it.
All right, let's get to headlines. Rob Pizzola is going to join us coming up in a few minutes. I have a dilemma. I'm going to kind of throw this into headlines here. Crowder, I'd really like your assistance, and I'd like the listeners' assistance as well. Headlines are sponsored by Doral Hyundai, home of the Pricito. Our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or at DoralHyundai.com. And I know the position, Crowder, you're going to take. You're going to think this is nonsense. You're an adult, and you don't have time for this stuff. But I've got a Friendsgiving coming up on Saturday.
What's that?
Okay, a Friendsgiving.
That's a made up word.
You've never heard of a Friendsgiving?
It's a made up word.
So it's a
all words are made up.
It's a Thanksgiving dinner for friends. So Thanksgiving dinner typically, I know some people, maybe don't get along with their family or they've lost their loved ones. It is what it is. But typically Thanksgiving dinner for Thursday is reserved for a family holiday. You sit down, you break bread with your fam.
This they're dead? What are you talking about?
I don't know. But the Friendsgiving is strictly friends. You get together with friends that you wouldn't invite to the Thanksgiving dinner, and you do the Thanksgiving dinner.
It's honestly an early version of the Wombo, if you think about it. Friendsgiving.
So,
it's like Thanksgiving with lesser emotion.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's a good way to put it. It's Thanksgiving, but it's the people you wouldn't celebrate Thanksgiving with.
Okay, the people you care less about. I got you. So, yeah, waste of time giving. Okay, what we got?
All right. So, as you guys know, on this show, we've kind of been out on traditional Thanksgiving dinners.
Mm-hmm.
Hoch kind of led the charge here, and I happen to have come around over the years. The turkey's fine, but why am I eating something because of tradition? Why am I doing something that's fine when I could eat something better? So I proposed to my group of best friends, F the traditional Thanksgiving dinner for our Friendsgiving. Let's do an appetizer party. So everybody brings appetizers, and then we all eat different appetizers. But we're turning it into a contest where we're all going to vote on the best appetizer at the end of the party. I can already see Crowder's gearing up to torch me here, and that's fine. Feel free to torch me.
Well, you are seeing Fred. Don't do Friendsgiving where you pick a winner on appetizers.
This is ridiculous. What y'all can't? What is the difference between me calling my buddies and saying, "Hey, what you doing Saturday night? Y'all want to grab something to eat?" Oh yeah, call John. Yeah, call Fred. Okay, yeah, call Ronnie. Yeah, get the wives. We'll go have dinner. Y'all have to call it a name and have an appetizer competition. Y'all are special.
Well, it's around Thanksgiving, so of course you're going to call it Friendsgiving.
I don't understand what the
No.
problem is here, Crowder. I mean, we all want to get together and celebrate and have a good evening together. But I don't want to
having
go
a
to a
dinner.
restaurant. I don't want to have to pay a tip. I don't want to have to overspend at a restaurant right now. We're all going to get together at a house, and everybody has to bring something. And instead of everybody bringing, the mashed potatoes out of a box that I know that they're all bringing, and the mac and cheese out of a box, and somebody going to Costco and buying a turkey that's been sitting there for a day, we're all going to bring different appetizers. So here are the rules. You could make the appetizer, or you could buy the appetizer. And I need help. I want to win this. I need help. What do I take as my appetizer? And I'm enlisting everybody here for your help. Like, send me options. I don't know if either of you have any good options.
I love a good buffalo chicken dip. Can't go wrong with a buffalo chicken dip. Everybody likes that.
Is it about creativity or just the success?
It's both. It's both. And you have to be creative here, because I'll give you an example. I was thinking about rib rolls. I go to Flanagan's and I buy like 3 orders of rib rolls, and I show up with a couple rib rolls. That right there might be the winning formula. But
wow.
I'm afraid that I'm not the only person who's going to think of that. And if you show up to the appetizer party and you and another person are sharing the same appetizer, you've lost. You've got no chance to win this competition.
I know. You've seen me do it. It's an easy out. It's a pretty penny. If you bring a platter of stone crabs to anything in the world, you're the man.
Well, this leads me to my next question. Crowder, can you hook me up with a platter of stone crabs?
Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, family owned and operated since 1951.
Bring some McRibs.
What's that?
Bring some McRibs.
It's not a bad idea.
That's a terrible idea.
That's terrible.
It's not a bad idea. Costco hot dogs, just like like a platter of Costco hot dogs. It's not a bad idea. I'm telling you, we can get really creative here. You can go and buy a platter of croquetas. I just threw down a pastelito from outside. The thing is, like, I want to be unique here. I'm afraid in Miami, I'm going to a party. All my friends are Cuban. Croquetas and pastelitos, I mean, that's a dime a dozen. They're not going to be blown away by this. I thought rib rolls was a good idea. Again, it could be from a restaurant. I've got a couple days here to figure this out. This is Saturday, so you let me know.
Get the tuna ceviche tacos on top of the little crispies. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can't cheap out. Don't cheap. If you want to win, don't cheap out.
And I can't be the guy that shows up with, how they'll do like the tostones rellenos, so like the tostones or the maduros covered with stuff on top. You can't show up with 4, because even if it's the best tasting appetizer,
there's only 4.
Not everybody gets to try. You're not gonna win the vote here. So you've got to show up prepared.
Bring an appetizer that I don't even know the words you just said, so that's not going to work. Madures and the Totonos. Bring something that people actually want to know.
We've got a different friends group, Crowder. Let's just put it that way.
I bet we do. Friendsgiving.
How about a bag of Tostitos rounds with a thing of medium salsa?
Classic.
Classic. It's lazy though.
Somebody says pigs in a blanket, a deli roll, spinach and artichoke dip, a charcuterie board, deviled eggs.
Hey, get some deviled eggs.
Out on them.
Yeah, deviled eggs. A lot of people, I figured out through like Appel and Hoch, and honestly, being on this show, I figured out that people don't love deviled eggs. I love deviled eggs.
Not for me.
Little truffle, a little truffle deviled egg. What with the little truffle balls? Oh my goodness.
Somebody writes Venezuelan empanada and tequeños, bacon wrapped dates, sándwich de miga. That's for me. All right, we'll keep texting it in. Strawberries and dip. Dip is a bar of cream cheese and a jar of marshmallow fluff and 1 teaspoon of vanilla or almond extract.
That sounds like a dessert.
Yeah, that doesn't
Sounds
sound like
y'all getting strawberries and whipped cream. That's nasty. That's the part. That's what y'all's Friendsgiving do. Yeah, what y'all doing at Friendsgiving? This Friendsgiving sounding better and better to me. Strawberries and whipped cream.
I've got from a restaurant, America's big chain restaurant appetizer platters ranked. Are you guys ready? Dave & Buster's, the platter is ranked number 1 on this list. The platter's called Game Day Grub, pretzel dogs, smash burger sliders, bone-in wings with your choice of sauce or dry rub, and that all comes together on one platter. Buffalo Wild Wings as like a house sampler. Chili's, the triple dipper. Show up with like 8 triple dippers.
Okay, now that might be a
all right.
move.
There you go.
But you're bringing if you bring something hot, it's not going to be hot by the time it's opened and people are going to be late. I think you got to go chilled.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll brainstorm. I want to get Hoch's opinion on this tomorrow as well. We'll brainstorm and keep texting it in. Tweet me. Tweet Crowder as well. Just tag Crowder just to piss him off about it.
I'll see you Wednesday.
If the original bloomin' onion from Outback Steakhouse, I show up with 5 bloomin' onions.
I went to an Outback Steakhouse over the weekend in Jacksonville. Now, you might think that what I do is like this glamorous thing and travel all over NFL. Ate alone at like 8:30 on a Saturday night at the bar at Outback Steakhouse. A bloomin' onion and a steak. Whoa, it was depressing.
Yeah.
You threw down a bloomin' onion and then you ate a steak?
Not all of it. But I want a little bit of bloomin' onion, so I had a little bloomin' onion.
Crowder, yes or no? Ordering a bloomin' onion by yourself at Outback Steakhouse is pretty depressing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's literally what I'm saying.
Should have got the pedals. You can buy just the pedals.
we used to do the Outback Bowl, and they would give us the shrimp and the bloomin' onion. Everybody, like every individual member of the media, would get their own. It was the best.
Somebody texted in, Gabagool. That's got to be Hoch, right?
Hey, Solana, if you take 5 bloomin' onions to this party, you're taking 4 back home with you.
Just drop them off at Appel's house.
Perfect.
All right. Your weather, those are your headlines.
Great
those are your
headlines.
sports headlines. Your weather in South Florida right now, partly cloudy tonight. The lows will drop into the mid-70s. Rob Pizzola is going to join us on the other side. We're going to get some picks from Rob Pizzola next on Hochman, Crowder, and Solana.
Honestly, if you have to take food anywhere, Solana, really now, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, I'm telling you, and y'all, holiday season's coming up. For Thanksgiving, get your turkey fresh, never frozen from Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Call and order in advance to have it ready. They have a whole system where they bring it out to you in the car. I'm telling you, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market is perfect for this time of year because you're going to eat with friends. I do Thanksgiving. These weirdos do Friendsgiving. Whenever you're eating, get it from Delaware. If you want lamb, beef, veal, pork, poultry, duck, your turkey, lobster, shrimp, fish, alligator, venison. They have frog legs. They have scallops, oysters, clams, the crabs, stone crabs, really. We're doing stone crabs for Thanksgiving. I already talked to the wife about it. It's her favorite meal. It's my favorite meal. The kids love it. And Delaware has all the sizes, the freshest stone crabs, and the best price you'll see on stone crabs. You got to go to Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, DelawareChicken.com to see the entire menu. They have prepared food with burgers and sandwiches, fried chicken, roasted chicken. They have sides that are made there, in-house, made fresh daily. They have the dips. Smoked fish dip is amazing. Smoked tuna dip is the best fish dip in the world. The buffalo chicken dip is the best buffalo chicken dip in the world as well. DelawareChicken.com. Find out what you want. Call them in advance for your turkey. Now, I'm telling you, if you're doing turkey, get it from Delaware, 954-983-6831. That's 954-983-6831. Place your order. It'll be packaged ready when you get there. All your food and your turkey, they'll bring it out to the car. Curbside delivery is available. All that Jose wants to do. He's an amazing owner over there. Linda, she's always there. She runs it. They want to get delicious food back to whatever function you're having. Tailgate, watch party, family dinner, romantic dinner, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you are doing. Yacht Provisions now. You're on a beautiful boat on a beautiful day. Have the best food out. And that's from Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. They are located on 441, 1 block south of Sterling Road. And when y'all get down there, grab your Crowder powder. They have all 3 blends of my seasoning and tell them Crowder sent you.
This is Hoch, Crowder, and Solana.
I have this fantasy, I've had this for years, of becoming obese and bedridden and just watching TV all day and having people bring me food.
That song means one thing and one thing only. Rob Pizzola is going to join us on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. He's a professional sports bettor based in the lovely nation of Canada. He's the founder of the Hammer Betting Network, and you can catch him hosting Forward Progress, their NFL betting show on YouTube and all other major podcast platforms. Forward Progress dives deep into weekly matchups, betting markets, and analysis from some of the sharpest minds in the industry. Make sure you follow Rob on Twitter at Rob Pizzola. I've been very much looking forward to doing this. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Solana.
Wow, I wasn't sure if you'd hit me with the hello mark just because it's, second nature at this point, Rob.
No, you know what? I'm actually glad I can forget about him today. I mean, there's something refreshing about, not having to come on and instantaneously listen to him talk for a couple minutes about all the parlays he missed over the course of the week and how it could have gone differently. So this is refreshing. And also, does this guy, what kind of union does this guy have? The amount of vacation days, this is more than the MLB umpires union, which is the best around. It's crazy at this point.
Well, Rob, what about Crowder, who left this show right before you came on? He was with us, and then he just texted me, "Sorry, Uber's crazy. Gotta hit it." I'm like, okay, all right. Well, maybe don't take an Uber now. Maybe take it after. Maybe schedule the Uber.
Listen, I mean, at the end of the day, I've been part of shows where Crowder's locked himself out of his own room before. So this is nothing compared to those.
That is a very good point. I do remember one time, Rob, where Crowder was off and I was doing the show with Hoch, and he disconnected after Rob was giving some of his picks, and I realized he had disconnected. This was early, Rob, in the show. You might not even remember. It might have been maybe working on the show for a year, and I just punted on the segment. Okay, Rob, talk to you later. Have a good day.
I don't recall that, man. I wish I did. Sounds...
Rob, before we get into some of your picks, the Dolphins, it's interesting because they've won 2 straight. And I wonder if, from a betting perspective, if you're looking at what the Dolphins, I know they're on a bye right now, but you're looking at what the Dolphins are doing and you're buying into them actually going on some sort of run here to be a wild card team, because we're all kind of convinced down here they're going to make a run. They're going to be in the hunt category. They've got the Saints and the Jets following their bye week. And look, there's no guarantee that they're going to win those games, but this is kind of setting up for the Dolphins doing what they always do, which is being in the hunt and then having a massive letdown at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I can understand the optimism, especially with the schedule post-bye and the fact that they're better than both the Saints and the Jets right now. I think Miami was underrated for a little while, and people were sleeping on them. There was obviously, the coaching saga that was going on in town, and a lot of the national perspective was put on that. But they got unlucky with some injuries early on in the year. The secondary was completely decimated for a long period of time. Obviously, losing some O-linemen early in the year as well hurt them. I would just say you got to temper expectation, because at the end of the day, yes, it's a 2-game winning streak. One of them was a coin flip against Washington with their backup quarterback. And I know that these neutral site games, they can get a little crazy every now and then, but that played as a very even game. That either team could have really won. There was a lot of 4th down leverage plays that swung things one way or another. Game goes to overtime. So I think you got to pump the brakes for a little bit. And I wouldn't be putting a W next to the next two games on the schedule. I mean, there's bad teams often lose games as well. It's not a foregone conclusion that they're going to win, but hey, at the end of the day, at least there's some optimism at this point in the year. And that's what you ask for as a fan.
Pizzola, when you want to start betting and winning money on the Heat, you let me know. All right. Because we're the fastest team in the NBA. We're fun again down in Miami. You just let me know. All right. I'm ready to go.
All right. Will do. Actually, you know what? Listen, the historical rate from people on this show who've texted me picks in the past is extremely low. So there's only one way to go, and it's up for you, Solana.
All right. Love it. Love it. Let's get into some of these games tonight. Thursday Night Football. This is an interesting game tonight. We're obviously keeping an eye on it here because of the NFC East tie-in, or excuse me, the AFC East tie-in. Bills at the Texans tonight on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, it's a super interesting one because we've seen 2 specific buy points on teams over the course of the week. So Buffalo got bet very early. They opened -3.5, bet all the way up to 6. And that's kind of the point where a lot of people started buying back on the Texans, and now we kind of see the market settling in 5.5 range. So you have the possibility of the sportsbooks getting middled on this game. Buffalo looked good last week against Tampa Bay, but Tampa is kind of this pass funnel defense right now. They lost Jamel Dean early in the game, and finally Buffalo was able to start moving the ball a little bit through the air. That's really not going to happen against Houston. I mean, this defense is really, really good. They generate a lot of pressure by rushing 4. They drop into coverage. If you remember last year, Josh Allen had like a complete nightmare game against the Texans. He went 9 of 30, I think, in that game. It was absurd how good they stopped him. So I know it's easy for someone to just look at the game and be like, it's Josh Allen, it's Davis Mills, but it's a lot more than that. And when you look at the Bills defensively, they haven't been able to stop the run all year long. The Texans aren't known for running the ball, but they've involved Woody Marks more and more and more in the offense versus Nick Chubb. There's an opportunity for them to have some success on the ground. So I would only bet Houston in this game. I don't think you need to, but if you're looking for some sort of recreational bet for tonight's game, it would be the Texans or nothing for me.
Texans covering the 5.5 or the 4.5?
Yeah, I would take the spread on it. I mean, obviously get the best price you can. If you see a 6 pop up anywhere, you take the 6, but unfortunately we don't have the luxury of that right now. So in real time, 5.5.
Is that a general rule for you when you are putting these wagers out, that if the home side in a primetime game, whether it's Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night, if they are the underdog to that degree, are you, no matter what, riding with the home dog?
No. So for me, I won't abide by like any general rules in football because the markets are very quick to catch up to certain trends. So when people start referencing like a specific trend of that makes a lot of sense, it starts to get bet into place. Just like a random example, but like West Coast teams used to be horrible playing on the East Coast. And that was a thing for a few years, for a lot more than a few years. But eventually it became so well known that it actually flipped. And those teams actually became very good against the spread because the market was over accounting for them. So I try not to abide by general rules, and I just handicap each game in a vacuum, really.
What about Sunday, 1 p.m., Colts, who are 6-0 on the road this season at the Chiefs? We're fascinated with the fact that Kansas City, not only, their record is 5-5, but the fact that all the teams ahead of them in the wild card race and for the division, they don't have the head-to-head tiebreaker against. They've lost to all those teams. So we're kind of fascinated. It feels like this is a must-win, as crazy as that sounds. 3.5-point favorites at home over Indianapolis.
Yeah, I know a lot of people will reference how important the game is for the Chiefs at 5-5. Doesn't mean that the Colts don't want to win this game, right? They're coming off a bye week. It's a huge opportunity on a big stage against the Chiefs to make a statement for them. So I don't really put the motivation into like the equation here whatsoever. I think it's actually a rough matchup for Kansas City. Like where you look at what they've really struggled at this year, they struggled to stop the run. It's been a problem all year. It was the problem in a game against Buffalo earlier this year where they lost in pretty convincing fashion. They give up a ton of yards per carry on gap concepts, and the Colts run gap at one of the most efficient rates in the entire league. And the Colts offense kind of works when they can run the ball. It sets up play action for them and all those things. On the other side, teams are playing KC with a lot of man coverage right now. And they're saying, attack us deep and beat us deep. And they haven't been able to do that for several weeks now. So their offense is it's struggling to create those explosives. You look at what the Colts now have at corner, and it's a very different game here. So I like the Colts. The only thing I will say is maybe don't bet this now and just wait till tomorrow, because Daniel Jones popped up today on the practice report with a calf injury. I don't like seeing that on a Thursday. The backup there would be Riley Leonard, and Anthony Richardson's on IR. So you kind of want to wait tomorrow to make sure DJ gets a full practice in before doing anything here. But if he does, I like the Colts.
All right. I didn't even see that he had popped up on the injury report.
It came out, like a half hour ago, if that? It was very new news.
All right. And the final game that I had texted you about, Pizzola, is a game that I think we're fascinated with. Appel and Crowder were debating it yesterday. Shedeur Sanders making his first official or his second start for the Cleveland Browns. First start, second action on the road in Las Vegas. Everybody has a take on Shedeur, and I'm fascinated how you would handicap this from the perspective of he didn't look great, but it's also a rookie starting his first game, who we found out hadn't even taken snaps with the first team until he was put in the game last week.
Yeah, I call this like a choose your own narrative game because no matter which side you like, you could make a pretty compelling argument as to why you like it. These are games that historically I find it very challenging to price something like this because it's what do I think Shedeur Sanders is versus what does the market think. His 4 for 16 with the pick last week, arguably one of the worst quarterback performance I've ever seen in my life. And I don't think that's recency bias. Like he looked really, really bad. So you have, a thought in your head of, well, I get to bet, -3.5, -4 against what could be a historically bad quarterback. I want to do that. But the Raiders are just so inept as a team. And you look at where they struggle the most, it's on offensive line, right? They lost their left tackle, Colton Miller, earlier on in the year. One of their guards, Jackson Powers Johnson, they drafted him a couple years ago, out as well. The Dallas defensive front just annihilated the Raiders on Monday Night Football. The Browns are going to do the same. And ultimately, I don't know that I trust them enough to win by margin. But it's a tough game. I mean, if you said, Rob, you got to pick the spread, I'm probably going to lay it with the Raiders just because I cannot mentally get over what I witnessed at quarterback last week, which somehow was a significant downgrade from Dylan Gabriel, like probably worse than Dorian Thompson-Robinson last year, and he was horrendous as well. So Raiders are nothing, but man, that's a tough one.
Rob, before I let you go, what do I make of your Italian national team having to go through a playoff and potentially miss the World Cup for the second consecutive time? That is, and by the way, I have very brutal ground in terms of national teams right now because the U.S. men's national team just put 5 on my national team. So tough times for me. But Italy, for the second straight time, might miss the World Cup, Rob. I mean, what's going on?
I'll tell you, and the draw happened this morning, and all my friends in the group chat are like, oh no, like this could be bad. And that's how bad it is. Like it's Northern Ireland and then potentially Wales or Bosnia.
Right.
And we're scared, but that's the state of Italian soccer, really. It's just gone downhill for a while. I mean, they should move on here, but there's going to be such an enormous amount of pressure as well, having gone out in the playoff in the last couple of years. I believe if they advance to play Wales, the game will actually be in Wales as well, which would be a real challenge altogether. So it's a realistic possibility. They should advance. They are the best of the 4 teams in their quadrant. But as we've seen before, in these knockout games, you just never know.
You're emotional about the Italian national team, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I remember in the Euros 2 years ago or last year, I remember you like genuinely being emotional about them because, I saw your video after the Blue Jays lost in the World Series, and I could tell like that got to you.
It did. Yeah. So both my parents are born in Italy, and I spent a lot of time watching soccer with my grandparents growing up. So that was kind of a tradition. And yeah, I just, when I was 20, Italy won the World Cup. And that was still probably the highlight of my life and amongst like sporting events with my friends, because I grew up in a very Italian community. So it kind of stems from that. I've followed Italian soccer since, but I mean, the golden era is done at this point. There's not a lot of money in Italy right now. They teach a lot of, tactics and fundamentals more so than skill play. And we've seen that the way that soccer has evolved, it's not really conducive to just being perfect tactically anymore. So it's a challenge. I'd love to see them in the World Cup again, though. Obviously, with Canada being there as well. For me, Italy and Canada both being in the World Cup would be big.
Rob Pizzola, he likes the Texans covering, but he doesn't really love the game. So Texans covering if you just want some action tonight. He likes the Colts, but wait for an update on Indiana Jones. He's the founder of the Hammer Betting Network, and you can catch him hosting Forward Progress, their NFL betting show on YouTube and all their major podcast platforms. Make sure you follow Rob on Twitter at Rob Pizzola. Pizzola, appreciate you, and happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy an American. I enjoy 2 every year because Canadian Thanksgiving happened last month, but it's a tradition for me as well. So happy Thanksgiving to you guys as well, and enjoy some football and hopefully win some bets as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Right, guys. Take care.
Yes, sir. Rob Pizzola there. I could literally talk to Rob about anything.
He's great.
Love that guy.
And I love the Canadian accent. That's the best.
So good. So good. 5 o'clock Funky Buddha Happy Hour is coming up momentarily. We still have a lot to get to. I want to talk to Appel about the Miami Heat, kind of look ahead at what's happening tomorrow NBA Cup stuff, but haven't really talked about the Heat and their victory yesterday. So we'll try to do a little bit more of that coming up, plus some more NFL stuff. We'll look at this week's slate of NFL games with Josh Appel, NFL broadcaster, all coming up on the 5 o'clock Funky Buddha Happy Hour.
You're listening to the Hoch, Crowder, and Solana Show.
Somebody has dubbed me on the text machine Bad Bet Bunny.
Jimmy Garcia pandering to me with music. Very well done, Jimmy.
Thank you. Well, Hog is back tomorrow, so I won't be able to play it.
Yeah, stop sucking up to Hoch with the music. Just play bangers. That's it. Just play bangers. We could do without Duran 3 times a week, Jimmy. It's a 5 o'clock Funky Buddha happy hour right here on the Hawkwing Crowder and Solana show. A Thursday, 5 p.m. It's almost Friday, ladies and gentlemen. We got Thursday night football tonight. We got Panthers hockey tonight. We got Canes hoops tonight. It's happening. For those of you who are just tuning in, Hoch is off. He'll be back tomorrow. Crowder was here earlier. He was on First Take this morning. He had to duck out a little early.
Someone pointed it out in the chat earlier, and it made me laugh. The idea that he went from doing First Take this morning on ESPN with Stephen A. Smith to then doing whatever we were doing today is hilarious.
He went from talking about Shedeur Sanders needing to literally have a statement game in front of the eyes of the world on First Take, maybe the most watched sports program on TV right now with Stephen A. Smith.
Drake May doesn't know that, by the way. I don't know if he's on that clip.
To then talking about my appetizer party on Saturday for my Friendsgiving. Unbelievable. 5 o'clock Funky Buddha happy hours brought to you by our friends at Funky Buddha Brewery. Good vibes are always on tap. We've got a lot to get to that we haven't gotten to. Appel and I, we're talking just now during the commercial break about all the things that I had planned to get to today that we just did not get to at all. And I'm going to delay that even more because we've got to get, before we get to our headlines here at 5 o'clock Funky Buddha happy hour, we've got to get to our Tito's Fantasy Football Report. They're sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. Distilled 6 times till it's just right. Tito's is known for great vodka, giving back and doing good for dogs. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly. Josh Appel, you denied entry to our, denied and accepted an
invite.
An invite, thank you, for our fantasy football league here at WQAM, and I'm still very upset about that. I don't understand people who will be like, sorry, I'm in too many leagues. And it's like, dude, this league was for $20. It's just for a little camaraderie around the building. Show up for the draft, set your lineup. It takes 3 seconds on a Thursday afternoon, and then on a Sunday morning, it's not that big of a deal. So next year, just do me a favor, Pell. Just accept the invite.
I'm not even joking. I'm literally in 7 leagues.
I'm in 8.
That's too many. And I want to get out of those.
It is, but I can't say no to anybody.
Well, how about you butch up a little?
No, I can't. I can't say no to anybody.
I say that as someone who also can't say no, and that's why I'm in 7 leagues.
But here's the thing with fantasy, like if it's a dinner invite, I'm happy with saying no. Hey, I'm too busy. All right. If it's a fantasy league and it's on ESPN app, all my leagues are on the ESPN app. What's the big deal? Just say yes. I mean, you're a part of this show now. I've been asking you to join this fantasy football league for a couple weeks, and you turned me down, but you won't turn down Chris Whittingham. You weren't. I know you won't turn down Mike Ryan. I know you won't turn down Mike Ryan. That I know.
I wasn't invited to his fantasy league.
Yeah. Anyways, I bring this up as our fantasy football report today because Jimmy, you can go right to hell. I was 5-0. I was 5-0 in the QAM fantasy football league. I was 5-0, Appel. I have since gone 1-6. I'm sorry, 0-6 since then. I've lost 6 straight. I'm 5-6. I'm on the outside looking in after being 5-0. I'm 5-6 on the outside looking in, and I've lost to Jimmy this past week, who has jumped me in the standings and has clinched a playoff berth.
Yep.
Congrats, Jimmy.
With the victory. Jimmy is now 7-4.
Yeah, he is.
By beating me last week. So congrats to Jimmy. That's your fantasy football update. Congrats to Jimmy.
What does that say?
Congrats to Hollywood. And congrats, as much as it pains me to admit, Marcos Gonzalez, who is going to run away with the 1 seed in this league. All 3 of them have clinched a spot in the playoffs in the 2025 Odyssey Fantasy Football League.
Sounds like the league's too good. I'm not sure I want to have to deal with these general managers.
Let's get to headlines. Go to hell, pal. Next year, just accept the invite. I don't know what else to tell you.
We'll see.
Headline sponsored by Doral Hyundai, home of the Pricito. Our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Hyundai or at DoralHyundai.com. Just a reminder that the Panthers do host the Devils tonight, 7 p.m. That'll be on FM 104.3 WQM. Are you going to the game, Appel?
I am not going to the game.
Okay.
We watch it from home. I've
All
got some. I've got the Falcons and the Saints this weekend.
That's
I got
right.
some prep to catch
You got
up
a little
on.
prep to do. The Panthers are banged up.
Oh yeah.
What would you grade their season thus far?
Like a B.
And that's like with the context of they're missing all these guys coming into the season.
Yeah.
They've lost more guys coming into the season, and they're just staying afloat. Is that the right way to describe their season thus far?
They have the same record this year at this time as they did last season.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they're doing it obviously without all of their, majority of their most important players.
10-8-1. They've got 21 points, which is only 4 back of the Atlantic Division leaders, the Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah, and it's still very early. A lot of games to be played. As long as they are within a couple points on either side of that playoff line come Thanksgiving, they're in a good spot. The good news for them is they've been very good at home this season, and they've got a long stretch at Emirates Bank Arena coming up, so they can pad their wins a little bit, bank some points. They'll be in a good spot.
All right. Canes Hoops, they play tonight as well. That's at 7 p.m. They've got Elon in Miami and Coral Gables. They're massive favorites. I want to get the updated line there for a second, but that'll be on AM 560. So you've got Panthers, Devils, 104.3 FM, and Canes, Elon, that'll be at AM 560. If I told you Heat at Bulls tomorrow must win for the Miami Heat on November 21st, what would you say to that?
Laugh in your face like I just did.
Must win.
It's not a must win.
Here's why it's a must win. Everybody, don't tune out because I know what you're thinking. This is ridiculous. How could anybody think that a game on November 21st is a must win?
All valid questions.
First and foremost, Hoch is a big Bulls fan this season because he loves Montas Buzelis, and I can't take a Heat loss to the Bulls.
Okay.
So from that perspective, first and foremost, I mean, I need a Heat win.
You don't have to elaborate from that perspective alone.
But secondly, it's an NBA Cup game.
Oh, now you've lost me.
And the Miami Heat are 1-1 in the standings. They've never made it out of the group stage in the previous 2 years of the in-season tournament. This is year 3. I like the NBA Cup. I think it matters. I've bought into the NBA Cup. I want the Heat to go to Vegas. I want them to get out of the group. And in order to do that, they've got to win this game tomorrow. So for that reason, I'm calling it a must-win game.
Now, hard for me to get on board with this when outside of just the in-season tournament, the game has no bearing on anything else. So,
well, the regular season game, I mean, it's an important game, but I get you. Regular season game in November carries no juice. I got you.
No big games in November.
But this is more than a regular season game. This is a cup game. This is a group stage game that could very well put you in a position to win the group because the Heat win this game. They get Milwaukee next week for their final group stage game. Guess what? The Bucks likely to not have Giannis Antetokounmpo, who joins a long list of NBA players who are out right now due to injury. So the Heat win this game, and they're very much in a position to advance out of the group and win Group C.
The more you talk about serious basketball stuff, the more you lose me. You had me hooked with the Hawk storyline here because the preening from that man about Matas Buzelis and Josh Giddey the following day, if the Bulls win that game, will be insufferable.
It's all we talk about on this show now.
Oh, I
bring up the Heat, and it's just a launching pad for Hawk to just talk about the Bulls.
Boozy-vert.
I don't understand what's happened here. I mean, I like Vucci Mane as a nickname. I like Lil Boozy-vert as a nickname.
Yeah, they're a great nickname.
Stacey King happens to do a great job on the broadcast, and I do like watching the Bulls. They're a fun team. But how has it turned into the most fun, exciting Heat team in the history of my lifetime has just become an opportunity for Hawk to deflect and go straight to the Bulls? I don't like what's happening here. I need a Heat victory tomorrow. It's got to happen. By the way, no Tyler Hero in that game. No Niko Jovic in that game. He'll miss his second straight. And this one's a bummer. Andrew Wiggins with a left hip flexor is ruled out of tomorrow's game. Neither of them traveled. So Hero won't make his return. and Wiggs will be out tomorrow.
So what is the timeline on Hero?
He's about a week away.
I was going to
He's
say,
about a week
if
away.
we're talking about he's not going to play in this one, we must be inching closer to him actually returning.
I think I saw Tim Reynolds of the AP say Monday, because the Heat play they play Friday night. Then they play Sunday at 1 against Philadelphia, which is a bizarre time to play Philly in Philly, 1 p.m. I think, Jimmy, double check. That might be an NBC game or like a game on Peacock.
No one's watching that game.
1 p.m. I'm watching that
on
game.
A Sunday at 1.
You're right.
You.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching it. Everybody's tuning in to FM 104.3, the Miami Heat audio experience. With Jason Jackson.
Damn right. Damn right.
Then they play second night of a back-to-back at home against Dallas Monday. I think I saw Tim Reynolds tweet out that they're looking like a Monday return for Tyler Hero. Yeah. And then I saw Jeff Teague today calling for Hero to get traded, that Miami should trade him. I don't understand what's going on here.
Can we see it first?
Well, here's the thing. I understand the concept of the Heat. This is now the third or fourth time that they're without Tyler Hero for an extended period, and they're playing good basketball without him. And I realize that's a thing. That really is a thing. But this is different. The Heat, we don't know what they're going to look like with Tyler Hero, with him playing this style of basketball. And I think he's going to be really good in this style of basketball. So why don't we at least get them on the floor together to figure it out before we're just throwing a ton of money at Norman Powell when you already have an all-star on your roster?
Right. And Jeff Teague floats about Bobby Portis.
Yeah, well, like, what are we doing there,
yeah,
Jeff Teague?
I don't really understand.
Tell more stories about LeBron, Jeff Teague. That always seems to really work out for you. Tell more stories about LeBron so then you can backtrack when Rich Paul's people reach out to you, and stop trading Tyler Hero for Bobby Portis. At least if you're gonna, throw out a Tyler Hero trade and you get me something that I can work with, fine. But you're giving me, I'm losing Hero, I'm getting back Bobby Portis. I mean, what the hell? What the hell is that all about?
Well, listen, much like the College Football Playoff Committee gives us content to talk about, I think Jeff Teague knows that he's going to get Solana to be like, hey, well, let's see it first. Get out of here with Bobby Portis.
No, I'm convinced that a lot of the NBA talking heads, by the way, I think Jeff Teague does a great job, but I'm convinced they see that on Twitter. Oh, the Heat should trade Tyler Hero. And they're like, oh, that's a good take. That's a good take.
Who among us?
They're 9-6 without him. I mean, why wouldn't they trade him and get some value back for him? And in the meantime, they don't realize that they've been hating on Tyler Hero, and they've been talking about Tyler Hero not being good enough to be a 1A or a 1B, and then now they're trading him for Bobby Portis. I don't understand that. So he's not good enough to be a 1A, 1B. He's not good enough to be a 2. Now he's a 5. You're trading him for the fifth option.
An all-star. Again, an all-star.
One more thing on the Heat, because as you know, as we started the show today, I was not thrilled about how Jimmy Butler exited the arena yesterday against the Miami Heat after the Heat beat the Golden State Warriors, thanks to Norman Powell, by the way, with his 17 fourth-quarter points. Somebody wrote into the Ask Ira column in the Sun Sentinel, Ira, what a joy to have a player like Norman Powell. Nothing fancy, no drama, just points on demand. He was huge at the finish against the Warriors and prevented something very bad from happening. Hank.
Great question.
And Ira responds, and ironically did it with a former Heat drama king looking on in street clothes from the opposing bench, with Jimmy Butler doing with the Warriors what he did all so often with the Heat, taking the night off. That's a bar from Ira right there. But he writes, as with Butler, it's almost as if Eric Spoelstra turned for salvation when he inserted Norman midway through the fourth quarter. And while Bam Adebayo got several key baskets down the stretch, it was Norm who made the most definitive statements. And yes, without the drama, just baskets on demand. No, it should not have been this hard against the Warriors, what the Warriors fielded, but Powell made sure it ultimately didn't go south, doing it in his quietly consistent manner. And it's such a great point by Ira. Jimmy Butler, very fitting, back in Miami on the bench for a game in November.
I love Storm and Norman, and I was surprised earlier when you said, like, definitively that the Heat are going to retire Jimmy Butler's jersey. And I think maybe if they had actually gotten over the hump and won, you'd have an argument, but didn't win, the big thing. Terrible exit. Butted heads with the face of the franchise going back years and years and years, at least front office wise, obviously Pat Riley running the team. I don't see how, unless Pat Riley is gone, how that ever gets accomplished. And quite honestly, the way Jimmy Butler is, I can see him being like, no, I don't want you retiring my number. I don't care about you guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's fascinating. Like with Jimmy Butler, will he hold this grudge against the Miami Heat for the rest of time? I don't know. Here's the thing. Shaquille O'Neal went out bad. We found out that he and Pat Riley almost came to blows on the practice court. And then he's like taking shots at Chris Quinn after he leaves. Yeah, CW. I mean, he went out bad. As bad as you can go out.
But he won.
He wasn't playing. He was out of shape. And then he took shots at everybody on the way out. And then they still retired his jersey. And
won.
Now, Pat and him seem to be cool and everybody's buddy-buddy. Dwayne Wade left this organization. I know it's a little different with Dwayne Wade. I realize that he's the face of this organization. I get it. But with the way he went out when he left, I think there was probably a lot of people who were saying, wow, like that marriage might be broken forever with the way that it ended. And it wasn't. And now we see like Dwayne Wade still was helping the Heat land Jimmy Butler. And even while he's over in Utah, somehow, some way, he still talks about the Heat all the time. And it seems like he's still like this proponent of the Heat culture and the Heat way and Pat Riley's way.
It seems like with Dwayne, there's just a silent understanding of, hey, man, keys under the mat for you. That's kind of how it feels with Dwayne.
Which is why I thought yesterday for Jimmy Butler was such a good opportunity for him to just come over and say, hey, last year was last year. Let's move on. Just a quick, it didn't have to be a long conversation. He didn't have to go talk to Pat. He didn't have to go talk to Zoe. He didn't have to go talk to Mickey. That's fine. They're not there yet. That's fine. I get it. That'll take time. I'm with that. But just go dap up Bam.
Yeah.
Go say what's up to Tyler. Quick little handshake. Nico was on the bench. Go say what's up. And then walk away. No big deal. Like, hey, all good.
Do you think Bam cares? I don't.
Yes. He
You
wore
do?
a hat yesterday that said Joy Dealer. He leaned into the bit. He cares. They care. And I'm telling you right now, they didn't like the way Jimmy Butler handled that situation last year. They didn't. They 100% didn't. Let's get to weather to wrap things up here. The Heat do play the Bulls mañana. Weather is sponsored by Chill Zone AC, featuring reliable root AC systems. Make your AC great again. Visit chillzoneac.com. Partly cloudy. Tonight, the lows will be in the mid-70s. Appel, I am praying for no rain because I see it's a 25% chance for rain. I got a pickleball tournament tonight, brother.
Are you trying to repeat?
I'm trying to repeat.
Champion. Champion among us.
Another one, as a great DJ Khaled would say.
Are they going to retire your paddle? Your racket? Is it a racket or a paddle?
We should raise it. It's a paddle. We should raise it up into the rafters here at the WQM studios. Gino Torretta, the Heisman Trophy winner. He's getting a statue. We're going to talk with him next. We'll talk about the college football playoff and what the deal is with the Miami Hurricanes and the CFP. Gino is next as the 5 o'clock Funky Buddha Happy Hour rolls on.
This is Hoch, Crowder, and Solana.
I have a package of frozen corn dogs in my freezer right now as we speak.
I'm sorry to hear that.